Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us here tonight on 20 Sides Every Story. This is the last episode of our 3-year Dolmenwood campaign, and we're so happy that you are still here with us all this time later to kind of see how we're going to wrap things up. And we are doing it with what is uh, I don't know. I haven't read all of the modules, but it is an amazing inclusion to the set of Dolmenwood books that are already out there. So we're going to be finishing things up with the Ruined Abbey of St. Clewyd. I see Casey. Good to see you. And Tox, it is good to see you. I'm glad that you're overdue to catch one of the streams. I'm glad you're able to stop by and catch this one because I'm sure it's gonna get a little wild. So I'm Alex. I'm going to be the GM for the game, and we've got a full crew here. We've got Ryan playing Sir Geoffrey the Knight, Winston playing Silver the Elf, Moreen playing Lillibeth the Hunter, Issac playing Friar, Stephen Fitzpatrick, Chris playing Thomas the Bard, and Dawson playing Topsy the Grimalkin. Um, I am just going to say this as we get going. I had a lot of promo stuff about how we're raising money for the Center for Suicide Awareness tonight. It turns out that the Tiltify link that is running right now is not working. So my apologies. I maybe should have known that there was an issue there, but that will not work. And in the 15 minutes that I've learned that was an issue, I had not creatively thought of a solution to how to deal with it. So if you want to do rerolls and stuff and all the random crazy stuff that can happen in games, I think the channel points are working. Just go ahead and use channel points. I'll allow channel points tonight. So anyway, we are going to get right into the game here tonight. And actually, maybe before I get into background and everything, maybe we should have everybody do one last character introduction. Take as much time as you want to say anything you want to about your character from when they first stepped foot into the Dolmenwood as with what was his name? Sir
begins with an S.
Silas.
So yeah, Sir Silas, all the way back when you were still, running from the law and doing super secret, top secret missions for the Empire to where you are today and kind of living out a divine mission. So yeah, tell us whatever we need to know about your character, and we're just gonna go right along the top of the overlay here. So Ryan, you're the lucky first that gets to set the tone for these introductions.
All right, yeah, I'm Ryan Garthok playing Geoffrey Fitzpatrick. Started on this road many moons ago. Met these other fellow travelers other than my brother, who is also on this road with me. As a disgraced knight, coming into the Dolmenwood with Sir Silas. And man, we've seen a lot of adventures. I think Geoffrey kind of started off as sort of a happy-go-lucky sort of knight, who had the best intentions, but maybe not most of the smarts. But always looking maybe for a little bit of love, and eventually found it. And now he has matured quite a bit. He's got a wife at home, a Bregel wife. He's definitely tries to think a little bit more about what he's doing now. He's got his friends and his compatriots to think about. He's got his wife at home and his brother. And I think Geoffrey now is, wants to vanquish this evil, and he's looking maybe to have some half Bregel babies in the future. So, he's a changed man, but, at this point, he's here in the Abbey of St. Clewyd. He's ready for the final battle. As a knight, this is kind of his thing. So he's souped up and he's ready to go. He's glad he's here with his brother and his brothers and sisters at arms.
And there's, of course, a lot of stakes there, because if you perish during tonight's session, your wife is going to have to maybe be betrothed to that Hogwash guy down in down in Bregletown. So there's a lot
We
of
can't let that happen.
there's a lot of high stakes, I think, for any of the characters to make it through the session, because there's, I think, some implications for all sorts of connections, relationships, and those types of things. Let's hear about Silver's kind of story and trajectory up until this point.
Yeah, so Silver is was a sheltered elf. He'd never left the land of fairy until he met this group of people that, honestly, basically, as he exited from a fairy road, more or less in the grottos, and it's been his dream to go on an adventure. That's the entire goal that he's had. He's wanted to write an epic poem. He was stuck based off of the limitations he had run into where he was, and so immediately upon finding this party, he discovered they were down to clown and then go out and do some crazy shit and cause some problems and rescue some princesses and do all those kind of unleash evil horrors upon innocent lake people. And he's been a part of this since then. He had to take a little sojourn into the land of fairy to throw off one of the more manic kind of lords that was infected potentially by the Naglord, I think, but he, kind of lost his wits and stumbled his way back to help the party take down the Cold Prince, or rather to uncover weapons from the Cold Prince time period, and really just the entire time he's just been interested. Where is this going to go? What epic feats is this party going to complete? And they've filled multiple tomes. The most recent one he completed was Winter's Daughter. So he's written that and he's got that poem done, and he's thinking about working on another one called the Ruined Abbey of St. Clewyd. So hopefully he'll be alive to finish that tale.
It's gone through a couple of title revisions since it's
That's right.
awesome. Yeah. Certainly he will have plenty to fill that last tome, should you make it out of this one alive. Let's go next to Moreen. Hear about Lillibeth the Hunter.
So hi, I'm Moreen, and my character is Lillibeth the Hunter. Lillibeth met everyone except for Silver and Topsy in the straitened circumstances of being a prisoner, offered a bargain that she really couldn't refuse. Of all the people in that prison, she was the only one who hadn't actually done what she was accused of doing. But that didn't make her a great person to begin with. So for Lillibeth, the travel has created a lot of uncomfortable feelings of comradeship, feelings of I care about these people, feelings of I don't really want them to die, feelings of why the heck am I running after this crazy man who thinks he sees a woman from his dreams, and trying to help them at all, to the point that she even found herself becoming invested in the lives of the people around her, something that she'd never really done before. I mean, she never trusted people. She actually chose the profession of being a hunter to escape from having to deal with people. And she was betrayed by people. And then now she cares about people. And the most recent adventure, in which she was turned into a deer, is making her kind of question a little bit how much her companions care about her. But I think it's only a little bit. So with acid scars and little deer horns and the overwhelming desire to make sure that we get out of this alive, Lillibeth is here at the ruined Abbey of St. Clewyd and is keeping a little bit to herself.
Sounds good. Let's move on to Isaac. Tell us about Friar Fitzpatrick.
Hello, I'm Isaac. I'm playing Friar Stephen Fitzpatrick. At the beginning of the of our game, the Friar 2 was a prisoner sent to Dolmenwood. He was before that he was the first born in his family. He ran away from the responsibilities and joined the Brotherhood, leaving his brother in charge of the family and everything that comes with being a noble family. I guess from that time on, he's always kind of tried to run away from responsibility and such. So it's quite odd that he's taking such, I think maybe not odd, but it's shown a bit of growth, how much responsibility he's kind of took when it comes to kind of going to the Abbey and whatnot and seeing things through. He's definitely grown quite a bit since the beginning of the campaign. He, I would not necessarily close-minded, but he did only know the ways of the church. So at the beginning, he was a bit weary of Fae and extremely weary of the undead, but a lot of interactions with the undead and the Fae have really opened his eyes, and now he's a strong advocate for how important it is to have strong relations with Fae. So I would say that he definitely has changed a bit. As far as the party themselves, and every single one of them, the relationship he's grown with. His brother, he has been through a lot with him. At the beginning, seeing him as a nincompoop, but he's really kind of, though he's still kind of kids with him, he's really gained an extreme amount of respect for him, and he always loved him, but he really admires him now. So I guess here we'd meet a friar that is kind of looking for responsibility, looking for the good of others, 100% in on what we're doing, and is hopes to at least survive this with him and his friends, so he could maybe start an abbey of his own on his brother's land. Of course, he'll probably force him to give him a little bit of land. So just one last big, just one last job. That's all we need. One last job. That's it.
I'm in, brother. I'm in.
And that's the friar.
Awesome. Chris, let's go over to you and hear about Thomas.
He is Thomas Arnhold Penrose Mournspire the Seventh, is his full name. Tailor turned bard. He'd found kind of what landed him in the clink. He had some forbidden lore in the Empire dealing with, I believe, Dolmenwood stones and things like that were kind of a no-no. And he was brought along originally with Silas, him being a knight, being, kind of down in the dumps, being imprisoned or whatever, and Thomas was able to bring some solace and cheer to him, even in the dark, dank dungeons that we found ourselves in. Thomas is not one that has had strong moral convictions. He's kind of been more fly by the seat of his pants, see what's next, what new story can be told and lived, and he's gotten his fill. I suppose at this point, he's grown very fond of everybody. But I think kind of at this point, unbeknownst to everybody, that when they spent the couple weeks in Prigwort, he was kind of looking around. He's found a couple possible prospects of buying into a tavern, kind of becoming a tavern keep, maybe get a young lass or two with a child, have a couple babies. But one thing that he definitely wants to do besides that, just kind of get a source of income, a place where he can regularly sing and bring merriment to everybody. He wants to get back to the Dolmen Stones. That is something that he had set out to do, and adventure and happenstance is kind of, he got a little bit of taste of those things occasionally, but he only has 2 mapped out, and his goal was to map out the entirety of the Dolmen Stones. So hopefully he will survive to be able to, I guess, see that to fruition. So
Yeah.
and have an inn tavern where any of these, any of his boon companions need a place to stay if ever they find themselves back in Prigwort, that he would love to have them.
As so there's like totally like NPCs that have like wants to get married, wants to find whatever. Like there's even probably a tavern that's up for sale in one of these places, actually written into the adventure. But as you were talking about that, like I was just like, oh, we should make like the Singles of Dolmenwood supplement or something like that. We just have like a whole like thing of like D100 table of just matchmaking we could do.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and you got a lot of I think you like learned about a lot of Dolmen Stones. We just maybe didn't go out and see them. So you've got like an idea of where you could start your search for sure.
Yes, and it just so happens I also have a couple of random things that I've picked up along the way, pieces of things to perhaps get back to.
And
some keys and things like that he'd like to investigate those things further, I suppose.
And you've always got Wayman with you. He could sit right on your mantle wherever you
Yes.
set up
I
shop.
I do have a vial of Wayman.
You could like put him in like a hourglass or something, he'd probably like that.
That's right.
Take him straight to hell.
Yeah, throw him through that rift in the other room. See what happens. Oh my god. Okay, I can't think about that right now.
Nope.
Topsy, Dawson, tell us about Topsy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dawson, some people call me, and I am Topsy Fluffykins. There's a lot to be said about this well over 6-century-old Grimalkin. She's lived a variety of different lifestyles and had many occupations among her many, many years, from failed baker to catpurse to now adventurer of sorts. And boy, I tell you something, this is the weirdest. I am stuck around hired by a bunch of former convicts, going from all sorts of random places, from meeting the high societies of castles, delving the depths of like an ancient being's donation offering pool and stealing from them, almost getting eaten by a tree, and being unconsensual witness to a marriage. Boy, these guys, they're real weird. But I'll tell you, I'm having a whole blast the whole time. If you're to ask me what to do tomorrow, I don't know with these guys. These guys are extremely awkward, and they all have their own little special quirks and special things about them. If I were to tell you anything I've learned, is always expect nothing, because boy, mortals are weird and they have the strangest habits.
All right. I don't know how you made being a guest at a wedding sound real like a extreme violation, but non-consensual attendee at a wedding. That's perfect. All right. Well, we're gonna get started here. So a little bit of synopsis of where we're at. It is currently the afternoon of the 7th of Grimvold, but a week into the winter months. And last time we had a very tumultuous session, which saw our player characters here get involved with, kind of get directly involved with some internal politics with the Order of St. Clewyd. They discovered that the Order of Wardens has improbably survived over 100 years down below the abbey dedicated to St. Clewyd, the living saint. And they have been there alive all this time within the western crypts, unable to leave. They met Abbot Loomingwill, who was an erudite, prideful, ambitious last abbot, who the characters had kind of heard little bits and pieces about on their way here, but meeting him in the flesh, it kind of quickly became obvious that he was a key figure at the heart of all of the strange happenings that you have all observed and been witness to. All the strange phenomenons, the unworldly sightings, the ghosts, the rooms of gore and skulls and talking catfish and whatever else you've seen. Like, all of it seems like it kind of goes back to Loomingwill. And the player characters kind of came upon Loomingwill basically by accident. You were moving some furniture around, I believe, up in the old abbot's residence, and I think it was like an armoire or something, like came falling through the old floorboards and dropped right into the abbot's new abode, kind of a subterranean bedroom where he was not, well, he wasn't immediately there, I guess, but he eventually came upon you as you delved down and kind of poked around at what you discovered down there. When you met with him, he was at first, he wasn't hostile. He was maybe a little cautious, but pretty soon you realized that he was being deceitful with you. He attempted to convince you all to walk into a rift of pure chaos with a supposed artifact of St. Clewyd. It would seem that you were probably a problem for him that he was hoping would just get obliterated by being foolhardy adventurers that would, take up this this foolish errand. Luckily, with some assistance from Topsy, kind of eavesdropping on some conversations, invisibly so, it was obvious that the abbot, that you all presented a problem for the abbot, and he was just looking for a quick solution to get you to leave, because your presence would have upended a lie that he had been telling the other wardens for years, that they were all sealed away with no recourse to leave the tombs. It would seem that the monks have been here for a very long time, protecting the outside world from a demon of sorts. I don't know if we've gotten super into the details of that, but there is something down here that they are trying to keep sealed away, and seem to be have sealed and chained away in St. Clewyd's tomb. You all involved yourselves pretty directly by interrupting a council of the wardens, who seemed to be having a pretty heated discussion. You took advantage of what would appear to have been a obvious fracture between two camps of some theological discussion or disagreement between them. In listening to the conversation, there were decades of distrust, personal grudges, and the Friar, I think very powerfully so, walked into this council with the intent to expose Loomingwill as a ne'er-do-well who was really keeping them all in the dark about what he knows, what his intents have been, and all of this kind of ripped apart and created this huge, violent conflict with two sides battling out. There was even a call by Looming Will to release some undead. We haven't gotten to the bottom of that either, but there was a whole cell of seemingly undead zombified abbots or clergy that Sir Geoffrey ran forward and bravely kind of protected the group from, as well as our little dog friend who unfortunately is no longer with us. But yes, there was a huge conflict. I think Topsy had very quickly kind of threw a hand axe at Looming Will as he was casting a spell and managed to disrupt his spell casting, and there was a lot of teamwork that came into play. You all sided with the one group and managed to defeat Looming Will, and help the one side in a victorious battle. And so all of that is several hours in the past at this point. You've all taken some time to lick your wounds, assist where needed. There's definitely some injured among you, as well as some of the brothers that have needed tending to. Abbot Looming Will, Sub-Abbot Lullingford, and Brother Ledger were the 3 loyalists who died. There was some care by many of the people in the conflict who try to do subdual damage and not kill the clerics outright, but there were a couple of casualties. No one's shedding any tears probably over Looming Will, but that is essentially where we are starting. The loyalists who were knocked unconscious or surrendered, such as Friar Dingley, who was the one that originally unlocked the door that kept the undead. They're all being isolated. They're being kept under lock and key and not allowed to move freely about at the current moment. But the dust has settled. You've all been invited to meet with Sub-Prior Proster, who appears to now be the leader of the Wardens. You all enter right back into, I think it was like basically the second room that you visited, right behind like a secret portal off of Looming Will's bedroom. And it's essentially a big, huge library. Sub-Prior Proster is seated at the head of a old oak reading table. He's a very small man, kind of frail, ragged looking. He's just got a kind of matted white hair, soiled tunic, very unkempt. And he probably looks even smaller than he would anywhere else, but just being in this whole room is just towering, sagging bookshelves that rise all the way up to the ceiling. And he's kind of sitting in a pretty oversized, threadbare chair. There's a couple of others situated around, too few to accommodate all of you to be able to sit. But his hands are folded in front of him. He's got a stack of tomes that rests on the table to the right of him. And there are some clerics that are kind of moving about. One of them brings in a silver tray full of teacups and kind of passes them out as you all are entering into the room. And Sub-Prior Proster just addresses you all. Well, where would you like me to begin? I sense that you have all come here with only a few pages of the overall story. You've earned the right to all of the answers you wish to have for your assistance in moving the convictions of the brothers against Looming Will. To be honest, though, much of the shame sits with us who knew what he was but stayed silent. May the one true God have mercy on us for our inaction and cowardice. I thank each and every one of you for helping us to move on our convictions.
I got a question.
I-
Why are you so old?
Mm. So, the beginning. Over 100 years ago, I can get the precise date if you are such a curious cat that you need such details, but you'd have to indulge me to reference it within our records. You see, I've lost track of counting the days, months, and years, for time is quite meaningless when you remove death from the equation. Back when...
I look at Silver at that comment.
I followed Looming Will here to be a part of his stewardship over the Abbey back when when I was maybe more naive than I am now. To be here at this Abbey, you understand. He looks at Friar kind of as he's talking about. You understand the significance of this site.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
We do. We all do.
It has been...
We are all aware.
Yes. It has been in the church's... it's been a part of our mission to try to bring the word, the faith of the one true God to all in this region. And this abbey, dedicated to St. Clewyd in our order, was the crown jewel of the church. I followed Looming Will here to be a part of his stewardship, to be a part of his order. It was among one of the most prestigious assignments that one within the church at that time could hope for. Not that one should look at such service to the one true God with a lens of pride, but in those days I was young, and I will admit to you here and now that I was proud. And in indulging the sin of pride, I disarmed myself of better judgment in listening to the words of Looming Will. Now I know I came here, that he came here with a singular purpose, and that was to speak directly to the spirit of St. Clewyd. This is forbidden magic, borders on necromancy. It circumvents the faith that we place in the one true God to allow his divine hand to guide our daily actions by living in accordance to his word. But Looming Will was charismatic, he was ambitious, and he had a way of twisting what otherwise would have seemed to have been by any other evil plan into something that was almost holy, and we were all complicit. We didn't bat an eye when he brought to the church arcanists, and you just see like kind of shudders, even a droon, to consult on ritualistic magics to speak with the dead and extend his reach into the afterlife. What do you know of the story of St. Clewyd? What do you know of his legend?
Well, what is told? He'd kind of go and for a moment, he'd look through his prayer cards again. Well, actually, let me scroll down so I could kind of, well, obviously, he is the chief among all the saints. Miracles. He brought back a cruel judge that became his follower. And apparently he slayed a demon.
Yes,
Which
maybe. Maybe not.
well,
The story was that he slew that demon here on this site where his most ardent followers erected the abbey after his death. It was said that he had fought to exhaustion and died shortly after. I mean, after all, his body is here. But what of the spirit? He didn't kill the demon. He merely banished it. And little did we know, his spirit went along with it. So, when Looming Will and us all who were there that day tried to reach out and contact him, we did. But the one who received the message was not what we expected. A spawn of the Nag Lord. We called it a demon. We gave it the name Sallowbrig. It came through a rift that opened at the conclusion of the spell. But St. Clewyd's spirit was not in the heavens, but somehow bound to this creature, his face within its flesh. It was... Oh, what did we do? There was nothing. There was no putting it back. There was no... The only option that we had was to chain and bind it here, which we succeeded in doing at the cost of many lives. He just is kind of almost has like a shell-shocked look on his face. He's reliving whatever happened way back when.
Yes. That's it is I am sure we have had dealings with some of the minions of the Nag Lord ourselves. I too see those faces every time I sleep at night. Yes. But you were there when you chained it and sealed it. You saw it fight. You saw what it could do. What if we were to somehow banish it back or unbind the soul of St. Clewyd? I know you said that he spoke to you as well. Do you have any idea how we could do that?
In my dreams, he's asked to release him, to free him from those binds. He kind of pulls out this little ornate box that's kind of got copper. Like opens it up and there's like reveals a key. Not spectacularly ornate or anything, just an iron key. I have thought myself many nights about going in there and releasing him of my own accord, but I've taken an oath. We all have taken an oath. Our charge is to keep it hidden, to keep it closed. We all swore an oath, the solemn Tane, to guard this creature until its death or our own. It is our holy mission to spare the outside world from this blasphemous horror. To never allow the world to know that this was the fate of our revered saint. It is a parody, it is a mockery of our faith placed on us by the Nag Lord, a direct assault on the one true God.
Sure. So you came here and prayed. And in that praying, you allow something awful to come into the world. And that awfulness has increased the torment of St. Clewyd, who was maybe tormented, maybe not. We don't know until we brought him forward. And do you even know that it's St. Clewyd? I mean, you've been fooled before.
I know it to be St. Clewyd because I have seen it. I've seen the agony upon its face. And
Thomas,
it
can you
calls
do
out to
agony?
me in my dreams, just as it has yours, Friar. You know that it is his spirit.
Yes, this is true.
I trust my brother on this for sure.
Is it St. Clewyd?
Yeah. Yes, I kind of like. It must be. I don't know anything else that. If you need to see it, this abomination, is there a way that we can see it safely?
No. Not that I know of. Those doors, those chains have not been laid eyes upon for 100 years. And should you learn that it is not St. Clewyd bound to it, that it is a trick, spare me from knowing about it, that I dedicated my entire life, several lifetimes, keeping it sealed away.
Be a real shame if it was St. Clewyd with an I instead of a Y. Boy, that'd be a big no-no.
He flashes you the dirtiest
It is
look.
fine. It is fine. It is fine. He means nothing by it. She means nothing by it.
Well, and not to get too morbid, but does it really matter? We're going to slay the demon anyways, right? So if we set St. Clewyd free,
Or slay him along with the demon? Maybe he can't be separated. That's a way of being free. At least he's not in torment.
I mean, that's my thought. We're going to see if it's St. Clewyd or not as soon as we get there. So,
Yes.
But how do we
You-
kill it?
That was my question, Lillibeth. How
Oh,
do
you
you
have-
propose that we slay a demon?
Well,
How did
How did we kill the last Nag Lord minion?
I don't know. I mean, these guys over here, I point towards Silver, Geoffrey, and Lillibeth, who did most of the lifting. Like, I mean, they did a good job at it. You think fire will work? Ooh, that'd be pretty good.
chopping.
Silver seemed to.
How many heads does this demon have?
It had
4, right?
3 or 4?
I think it might be a different demon.
Yeah, I was wondering.
It had 2 that I saw. One of
Is
the
one of them a
Aticorn
human?
itself, and one that was an exact replication of St. Clewyd's pained visage.
And
That might be a clue. We should have started with that.
Well, maybe we could get them to argue with each other and start killing one head fighting the other. I mean, we got to fight each other.
Yes. I believe, Silver, it's called burying the lead.
I think so. Is it St. Clewyd? Maybe. He does have his head.
Over all of this time, have you not attempted to communicate? Is there any writings of anyone, of any conversations they've had? Would there be anything in this library that would give accounts of attempting to speak with the creature?
No one has opened those doors. The only communication has been the visions of St. Clewyd himself.
What of the artifacts?
We have several artifacts here. Is there one in particular that you're curious about?
All of them. I think we need all of them here.
Well, I assume one such item that you may be curious about would be the gnomon.
Yes, well, yes. That would be the most important one, of course. The hand, St. Cygnus, the cloth, but the gnomon, yes.
Unfortunately, the gnomon is in the sarcophagus with the remains of St. Clewyd.
I was hoping that would not be the case, as we were told that by your dearly departed abbot.
help me understand what exactly is it, a gnomon?
St. Clewyd's personal prayer book.
Ooh.
Don't we think that that would be useful in battling a demon? Especially if St. Clewyd is there and can use it?
Oh, it is very important. The issue is it is stuck in the room with the demon.
Thinking if we get in there, we gotta find that book. But pretty good.
Yes. I
Could help.
think that's a good plan. And as a matter of fact, I think that we should, and I would volunteer myself to be the front line of this. We should have some people. I think once we step in there, we're going to be engaging. But I think you, Topsy, need to find the book. You need to keep from engaging in the fight and just find the book.
Oh, if you think I'm gonna go look around and not fight a big monster, you got another thing coming, young man. Look at me. I can handle it.
Topsy wants to
I
go
can handle
fail.
it.
It's the last chance.
I mean, if I see the book nearby, I might pick it up, but can't keep me from not doing it.
My friends, perhaps you could help me understand your thinking here.
Yeah.
In what way will a book in the face of a demon assist you in a moment's time?
Well, I don't know. Don't you you holy guys read out a book so of time and you say it gives you special powers and teaches you life lessons or something?
Usually requires reading the book, but yes.
So yeah, so if we open the book and go to his table of contents and pick out a section, bam.
Maybe you are a
Easy.
faster
On how
reader
to
than
banish
I.
the demon? Oh, I can read.
I'll leave it to you. I'll leave it to you.
Maybe
He can
it's not
read.
as important.
Point.
There are other artifacts that you wish to know about.
Yes.
You spoke of the hand. The hand of St. Cygnus is in our possession within our relic store. I I don't know that it will be useful. It has powers that will work against the undead. I don't know that this thing is undead. I think it is a living being of chaos. But if you think it will help you, you are free to take it from the relic store.
I think you probably would be. I mean, we did encounter some of your previous abbots, and they were very unwelcoming.
I apologize for that.
Oh, don't worry about it. You're all good.
And what of the third item, Friar?
The cloth. I think it's the cloth.
The epitome of life. It is how we have been surviving down here all these years. It is scraps of cloth torn from the robes of St. Clewyd's mourners. When their power is evoked with a prayer to the one true God, bread and wine are aplenty. Hungry?
I mean, I won't say no.
Topsy, you're already immortal.
Well, there's never a problem with being extra immortal. Immortal times 2 is double immortal. It's pretty good. But also, you get with Silver. You're telling me you would pass up the chance to have holy bread and wine from the one true God? Wouldn't that be crazy? How many people can say that?
That is
How many fairies?
true.
How many fairies do you know that can say, "Hey, I had the wine of the one true God"? What did you have?
That
Oh,
nice.
fancy
It won't-
vintage. Ha!
It won't burn us from the inside out, right?
Oh, probably will.
So he will step in to correct a misconception that I think just took place there. The bread and the wine isn't giving them everlasting life. It's just what they've been eating. But it seems like it can summon a basically infinite loop of bread and wine.
Got it. Topsy still thinks it's magic
Yeah.
wine, though.
Wine that comes from clothes? I mean, crazy.
And I set the scepter on the table. I say this is just has mundane value.
He would just nod. Looming well?
Yes. This is what he told us to carry through the rift, that it was an artifact of St. Clewyd.
Well, then it probably isn't, right?
That's correct. I was just curious if it had any sort of magical powers or if it was just simply a golden gem encrusted ceremonial piece.
That is correct. What would have happened if you had walked into that rift is anybody's guess, but I'm thankful that you did not test that theory.
I take it and put it back in my pocket.
It's heavy enough that we could use it as a bat or
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a club.
Is that a Thomas, is that a scepter in your pocket?
Yes.
See us.
Both.
okay.
During some of my dreams, St. Clewyd asked me to recover the Newman, to preach his teachings that he had written down in it. Do you know anything of value that could help us with that?
He would maybe think for a bit. And what could he give you? I mean, he'll basically tell you, apologize if you had thought that there were some relics here that were of, I don't know, wartime
against.
use, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, the divine object that they have are, while miraculous, not really for that type of task. Which sort of explains that they themselves have never been able to do anything to except bind it.
I mean, the only reason to unbind it is to free St. Clewyd. And the reason to free St. Clewyd is to end his anguish. And the reason to end his anguish, and the thing that he wants us to do, is to preach the word of the one true God according to St. Clewyd. Right? Is that what we're being asked to do totally and completely here?
He will step in and say that he's not asking you to do anything. In fact, he and the other brothers that are down here will be leaving promptly.
What?
Yes, they.
He will explain that their oaths have been fulfilled multiple times. They've all died multiple times. And that, I'm just going to narrate this in this way. The reason that there is a schism between him and the Looming Will and the other wardens is because their interpretation, their philosophical interpretation of the divine oath that they took was that they would defend and protect against that thing until its death or theirs. And they have died multiple times, and they are stir crazy because they've been down here for over 100 years. The only reason that they have been complying and doing their daily rituals and their daily chores is because before now there was no other choice. They believed that they were sealed down here. But with your arrival, there is a way up and out, and they're going to go and they're going to take that.
At this point, I have so much greater respect for the Droon and for the witches, who basically follow through on everything that they say they're going to do. But, okay.
But he is going to hand that key over to Friar Fitzpatrick, which is the key that would unbind the beast. So from what he's telling you, that thing is chained in there, inside the tomb. And he is also willing to tell you how to open the sealed door if you do decide that you wish to open it. But at this point, after all of this time, they're more or less like okay with it being sealed away in there and them wiping their hands of this. But if you all are coming here and saying that you're going to try to take care of it, he is willing to give you the tools, as limited as they are, to accomplish that. But he is not pushing that on you. He sort of thinks you're a little crazy for even entertaining that idea.
We may be.
I'm going to ask a question, and I hope it wasn't something that was asked when I had to step away. But Thomas would say, Sub-Prior, for a long time, nobody could even approach this abbey for and apparently for decades. And just recently we were able to. Has there been anything that has occurred here recently that perhaps removed that shroud of evil that was cast widely over this area?
I will explain it at the end. He won't
Gotcha.
know, but he's going to
Okay.
take your question and tell you something different. But I just want to like meta say what he's about to tell you absolutely has nothing to do with the premise of your question, but I will tell you about it at the end.
Okay.
So what he would tell you is there was a strange event that happened in the past couple of weeks, and that is so. I think he's shared with you that they all kind of derogatorily have been called the Cardinites by the other wardens. The reason for that is because the previous subprior Cardin, which the name might ring a bell because it was the name of
Right,
this
yes.
killed person, right? This murdered person. So Cardin was the original person that came up with the interpretation of the divine oath being over because they'd been killed and then resurrected in the pool in the main hall. I think you saw that pool during the big battle.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they submerge the bodies after death to resurrect them. So Cardin had this theory that yes, like they should be released from the pledge because they've already given one life to it, and like half of the brothers basically agree with that philosophical outlook. Well, a couple weeks ago, and there was lots of public debates looming. Well, they would have these big academic debates in the big hall about the ideas about that. They got nothing to do down here, so they spent a lot of time debating theological ideas and philosophy and things like that. But 2 weeks ago, Cardin was found dead. His body was in the cell of the Wayward, where all those undead are, where Sir Geoffrey was fighting them back. And his body was chewed up, the flesh torn from his bones, and the body parts ripped apart. Like he was so mangled that even the waters wouldn't be able to resurrect him. And how that situation came to be is very suspect because they have strict protocols for dealing and interacting with those afflicted. Which maybe will spur a question about why the heck are those guys in there in the first place?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
the reason for that, he will explain, is that the resurrection ritual of going into the water is not a slam dunk. Sometimes they come back as half sentient, flesh devouring undead. But they have kept them alive. They've tended to them because they had found that if they cared for them, they would read scripture to them. They would share memories. Like they would come back and become somewhat calmed. And so there was this belief that that's still a person in there. We can't kill them because, that might be us one day, right?
Gotcha.
I'm no theologian, but if the spirit of St. Clewyd is attached in some way, was brought back with this demon, that they're somewhat bound. Friar, to you or you sub-prior, is there a prayer or a ritual that you know of that would be powerful enough to lay St. Clewyd's spirit to rest and unbind it from this creature? A last rites ritual that, if he's devout and you're devout, that you could touch on his spirit and call upon the one true God to separate the two.
Sub-Prior would regrettably say he does not know for sure. He would probably say this is such a bizarre circumstance and situation that really nothing's a guarantee in terms of will St. Clewyd be released upon the death of such a creature, even with such a ritual. Certainly there's prayers and things, and he'll say it would be worth a try. It would be worth it to do anything you could to kind of massage and coax the tainted spirit out from the body and into the heaven, but he'll also probably say how traumatizing it was to see the face of this saint that adorns all these statues and all these murals and everything, this Jesus-like, savior-like figure, just horribly attached to this demon is something that he's had to live with every day. And so it's like it pains him that there is nothing that he knows. And he probably gestured around to all the books. I've scoured all of our texts multiple times for an answer, as we all have down here, but there is no obvious one.
Just so I'm clear, the water that they use, is that a shrine? Is that, because I wasn't there on that session, is that the shrine of St. Clewyd? Or would would ask if they had one down here?
Not really a shrine. There's almost nothing about it that's there are some statues of St. Clewyd that flank the walls, like next to the fountain.
Mhm.
But the water, so this probably clues you in. You've seen where that water comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the water's coming out of the portal, right?
Or at least it originates near the portal and then drains down into the western crypts.
And then it gives catfish sentience and ability to see the future.
All sorts of crazy things. So
Is the catfish still there?
Get your vials out. We're taking back some unholy water.
Ooh, you should. Never mind. I want to know about Wayman dust.
My God, yes. Let's mix up a little Wayman dust and water.
So maybe it can't be done. I mean, if they've been looking for 100 years, they haven't found anything. So even water turns them into mindless undead. Maybe the best thing we can do is block the whole darn thing. Tell everybody what's really happened here. And still spread the word of St. Clewyd and his faith, because that at least isn't tainted. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, Lillibeth, I see what you're getting at. I do. I'd say it's a fairly reasonable response, I would say, in a very reasonable circumstance. But also, we could even be bigger than St. Clewyd if we do it. Think about it. The church can make statues in our honor.
Oh,
Nag Lords, Spawn Slayers, Rescuers of the late great St. Clewyd with a Y. Boy, can you imagine it? Well, you could have your own statue. They could make an abbey after you. You could be Saint Lillibeth II. You think about that?
Yes.
Like, pretty cool.
That is so tempting, Topsy. I could be Saint Lillibeth II, and I could point to the horns. I could be the saint of hunters. Oh, there is one of those already, isn't there? Oh, no. It's just not that appealing, honestly. And then not only would people, I mean, they'd have to look at my face for eternity. Although probably they'd make it a little bit better than what it is right now.
Think about, but even that, to be like, man, even though she's got a messed up face, she killed this big old monster thing as a hero. Tale as old as time. Think about it. It could be pretty good. It could affirm Geoffrey as an even greater knight than he is, and totally won't have any ramifications for potential marital issues in the future. Because who could execute Saint Sir Geoffrey, Slayer of demon monsters? Who could do that? That would be bigger than any lord or king could possibly handle.
I think
I'm just saying.
I think the conversation is going a certain way. I think at this point, Sub-Prior Proster would probably ask if you have any more questions for him, because he would probably be like, it sounds like you all have a lot of talking and decision-making to do, but he's going to withdraw and allow you the privacy to do that.
I think the Friar would definitely ask before he left if they have any healers that could heal and try to heal his comrades.
Let me see. I believe some of them might be able to. But otherwise, he would suggest, if you are feeling wounded and such, unlimited wine and breadsticks. You can rest really as long as you want down here in their dormitories and such. You would be under there's no reason to go rushing into that tomb necessarily. But
I might jump in the pool.
I
Get a
know
little
that would
splash.
help.
I would ask if they would know if the creature can be burned by fire or holy water, if they have tried that in the past.
given where the thing came from, his best guess would be fire would probably not be the first thing he'd try. Holy water. He'll probably say he's not sure. His guess would be that he wouldn't probably, like, it hurts him to say that he doesn't have faith that the one true God in its blessings could imbue the same properties that could damage undead and other unholy things, but the fact that this thing has St. Clewyd's face hanging off, what could be more holy? And so he's gonna probably just be like, I highly doubt it.
And this creature's like earthbound. It can't fly, correct? It's bound. It is in.
Yeah, it's in the tomb. It's chained. They probably don't know. Like, they haven't seen it fly because it only ever had it down here. But it would be a where it currently is. It's chained. It's bound. And, ceiling clearance in the tomb is, 10 feet at most.
And how large is it?
He would say it's a pretty large creature, easily
like the size of a horse or
larger. Yeah, and tall. like standing at least 10 feet tall.
Can it cast darkness? Can it cast anything that would impair us from being able to hit it, attack it?
He remembers those that survived that encounter that they had with it 100 years ago. Many of them went mad. There's a lot of confusion in the battle. Some of the brothers turned on one another.
Okay.
Let's say, I need to work this in. Casey had redeemed a rumor, and I was waiting for the right moment. As he's telling you all about this thing, he just says, "You all are monk dunked," which is a way to point out one's foolishness. It seems to come out of left field. This weird local idiom or
Oh.
whatever.
Pot kettle, much?
Sorry, Casey. That's the best I could do.
No, it's very it's very good. Yes, very good.
Surprise!
Yes,
It's really the time for this.
is that what you have to say before? Will you pray for us at least?
I'll pray for you.
Yes,
You
pray for us.
you dunked monks, you.
Okay.
Well,
Take it.
enjoy your freedom.
Mhm.
Where should
tomb-
we? Oh, sorry.
The tomb is flooded, yes.
The tomb is not flooded. The tomb is actually right off of the gallery where you had the big battle.
And that's where the gnomon is.
It would be, yeah, it would be in the sarcophagus where St. Clewyd's remains are, his earthly remains.
Oh, if that's the case, hey, what's the room like by where all the abbots are buried and all like the fancy guys are buried? It's like there's like a crank wheel in one of those rooms kind of flooded. What's down that way? Gesturing to where the whatever Hydra beast room is. What's over there?
Like you're asking about its original purpose, the room?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna assume he knows that there's a weird multi-headed beast chilling there.
They don't know that. Because they have not been anywhere except the Western crypts.
Oh.
And all of the crazy stuff happened, all of that, the rift opening and then sealing away the demon, the Atacorn, all kind of happened pretty quickly. What was its original function over there? I don't know, like mundane, like more tombs, we'll say. Nothing significant about it in relation to the the scary thing that's over there. Oh, I'm sorry. No, there is. There's something to entice you to go and try to deal with it. That they had more treasure vaults over there. Lesser treasures, but some of the significant significant items that belong to some of the previous clergy that took care of this place.
Now, rules question, Alex. If we loot all of that, but then we turn it into the church, do we still get the experience?
Yeah,
Right?
Fellas,
I said that pretty quickly.
Church.
let's see if
I
we
mean-
live. Let's just go wreck that guy. If it can be a demon with a saint in it, nothing's stopping us.
There's got to be. All I just keep thinking is like, yeah, we got to get rid of this demon, but there's got to be something. There's got to be something that can help other than just us going in and beating him up. Like, there's got to be a clue. There's got to be something. Something, no? Or do we just go in and beat him up?
I don't know. Why don't you guess St. Clewyd with a Y?
Is it is the creature bound by one chain? Multiple chains?
Multiple chains.
Is there some way to release the chains from the floor?
He would point to the key that he gave Friar.
That would unlock the shackle, but is there some way to maintain that, or can the shackle be removed from the floor?
Where the chains meet the floor, it's just like bolted down.
Yes. And now thinking about it, don't know why we would release him. If he's shackled, I feel like it'd be better to keep him shackled while we fight him.
Is the key to the shackles or to the door?
The key is for the shackles. To open the door, I'll just click on it so that I get the details right, but there's essentially like a bas relief in this. It depicts St. Clewyd with his hand raised in benediction, and there are, I want to say, skulls and bones at his feet, almost as if he just like did a turn undead or something, and they all dropped. But one of the skulls, if you put your fingers in the eye sockets and press down, it would open a latch that would release the door.
Boop.
Boop.
Is it Silver? You may be able to. I mean, do you have? You're from elsewhere. You too, Topsy. This rift that was opened up. It was opened up, and this creature came through. And I look at Sub Prior. That's correct.
Yes.
Perhaps what is keeping the portal open is the creature must be put back through.
Well, I appreciate you associating me and Topsy with demonic forces to the next.
I mainly am talking. You're from elsewhere. Portals are not,
It's okay.
novel to you.
They're not novel to us, but I don't know, Topsy, if you've had experience, but I don't. I've never shoved a demonic being through a
I mean,
portal,
I've been through
unfortunately.
a number of portals and used the portals in numbers of ways, but I mean, not enough to summon saints with demons in them. No, that's a first.
So maybe it's the summoning that keeps it open, because you guys come through and go, I mean, it closes.
Yeah.
No. I mean, fairy doors and fairy roads, they do have a peculiarity to them. They can open and shut even weak. Sometimes they're in one direction. I mean, there's all kinds of things. It's very possible it could be done, but I don't know that it's set that way. We can certainly try. My suggestion is we slay it and throw its corpse through.
Yes. Well, I do have a vial of that fairy dust, which causes the being float.
Could I ask the sub-prior one more time to go over how what the story of St. Clewyd? I know that he actually did not slay the demon, but if he could go over just how he tried to fight him or whatnot, or is it just kind of what I would know as far as the basics of how he fought?
He would probably say that in the immediate moments when it got summoned, they did try to fight it. They took note that most of their weapons were ineffective against it, although how can I deliver this info? we'll say that one of them had a magical mace. Not a blessed mace, but an actual magical artifact that when the thing was struck by it, it did stumble back and seemed to register pain. But sharp, their daggers, their staves, everything else that they had seemed ineffective against it. Just like they would crack a piece of wood, a stave against it, and snap like they were hitting iron. But they retreated like pretty promptly. There was a lot of infighting and things like that. It was clearly has magical capabilities of sowing confusion and madness. They retreated, and then they concocted the plan. They prepared the tomb basically to seal it in there in hopes of. They were hoping to seal it away in St. Clewyd's tomb because he had St. Clewyd with him. Their thinking was that like maybe the soul will be purged from him and go back to the remains, or it was a desperate maneuver, but then they coaxed it basically into the western tombs. A number of them died while chaining it down, and then they sealed everything off. They sealed the western tombs off.
I don't know if we
So
can
this thing
contact
has
any
magic.
witches.
That would be what we would be doing. I think that's what I was thinking too. Is that if we had the time, that we'd probably try to contact a witch, contact some Droon, and try
Yes.
to
how
bring
do we-
multiple things.
How
to
do we
bear,
not
people to
necessarily
bear.
have time? We have time to heal, and we could. Well, we would have to go actually do it ourselves. That's why. Yeah, we can't just send word. We don't have it like that. Good point. We do have allies among the Droon and the witches. It's just the time, right?
Yeah.
And we don't know where they are. We could scour the world, and we don't even know if we would find them.
And it is winter.
Maybe the Cold Prince. He might be
You know-
easier to get in touch with.
You know who we do got? We got Jerome and parents over here from the church. They're all we need.
Send us in, boss. We will do it to honor the one true God, and we're ready and willing to lay our lives down. Yeah, they're all about it.
If there are no more questions for the prior sub-prior, I think the friar would tell them about the abbey with, I forget his name, but he was a
He also
maybe
saw Clewyd.
Winton, Abbot Winton.
Hmm. Didn't he also see St. Clewyd?
I'm
thought
not
he did.
sure
Don't
if he
believe
did or
so.
not, but he kind of shared. Abby Winton, he's the one that with the ale and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ran that tavern that was once a monastery. He clued you in on a lot of info about
Yes,
the connection between that place and here, but
I think if anything, I let them know the location of that. Tell them that they would have a friend there,
okay,
and
they would know it.
mention
Like they would,
Yeah.
like as if you describe where it is and everything, they'd be like,
Mhm.
I recall that place.
that they would be there, and they'd be more than happy to get them on the steps to their life, to their new life that they're headed for.
And he will take his leave from you in this immediate time. They're not running out the door immediately. They still need to lick their wounds from the battle and everything too. So it'll be a couple of days before they depart. Unless, you know, unless you're like, oh, we're running into the tomb right now, then they'd be like, oh, jeez, holy shit, let's get out of here. You know,
I
No, I
don't.
think
guys are
I think
wild.
we
I
need
need
to
to
heal.
heal some.
We need to
I need
heal.
to heal
Yep.
some.
All right. Is there anything else you want to do in the short term, or do you want to see how the passing of days works here?
Sure. I think I'm good.
All right. Well,
Try and heal.
we will. You'll get accommodations here, and kind of just like the general dormitory. You know, there's a couple of open beds now, so somebody can take what's his name's probably nicer bed. Otherwise, there's plenty of floor space as well. So on night 1, you will recover 2 hit points. And there's no need to deplete any rations or anything. They've got unlimited food for you. And on the second day, 1 hit point. Third day, 2 hit points. One hit point on the 10th of Grimvold. Still down?
I was fine after day 2.
All right.
Is there any like?
No more.
Is there any holy day coming up?
Let's see. Real quick, on the 11th of Grimvold, 1 hit point. And then I can check on the answer of that.
It was yesterday. No.
Let's see. On the 19th, there's a feast day to St. Elsa, the Balm Gusher.
Mm.
Oh, and then on the 20th, it's Lillibeth's birthday.
It is my birthday.
Ooh. Do you want to die on your birthday?
That's
Not
right.
particularly. I could have one more birthday, and then
So,
we could celebrate with cake. My favorite cake. Topsy could do that, right?
full moon on the 21st.
That's not a great omen.
Let's do it that day.
All right, on the 12th of Grimvold. 1 hit point.
Need more.
And probably at this point, I think after that many days, the monks are going to depart. He'll leave you with the key. And there was something I think I was going to have him maybe bequeath to you, but it's not anything like super crazy. But I think he had some herbs.
You like herbs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How much gold value are they?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's going to give you a worn leather knapsack that is full of, inside is just filled with this, it's soil. If you reach in and feel it, it's kind of warm. And if you dig around in there, he'll explain what is in here, but there are 24 golden apple seeds buried in that earth. You can plant
Ooh.
them, and it will bear a apple tree that will grow apples that you can eat and cure your hit points. Maybe something nice if you ever do build that abbey, something to plant
Yeah.
around.
Yeah,
Oh,
right,
that'd be
right in the
great.
middle. That'd be awesome.
Totally gonna happen. Everything will be
It-
fine.
We're gonna survive this, brother. It's gonna happen.
But I mean, it does bring up a good point, Mr. Friar. Do you have any fancy, totally nut drugs that we can take before we, go to our untimely demise at the hands of a saint? Anything
Um,
scavenged, looted, pillaged from the earth?
The friar would have he'd been just collecting spirit haim, but I'd say that he in his maybe month or two that he's been in Dolmenwood, he hasn't really collected enough of anything to make a big difference. He would talk about the spells that he kind of had been holding on to from the shrines, but other than that,
Did you
that's
get
all
like
we
a
had.
fancy like berry or fruit or something from up top? From the cultivated dead guy from the spirit dude? He said these are real good. They don't instantly kill you. They're good. And then you say you felt real great after having it.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. I don't remember what it was. Yes, that was probably like a year and a half ago. Yes.
That's not that far ago.
Continue healing. All right. 13th of Grimvold, 3 hit points.
That did it.
Yes! The day they leave.
I had 2 hit points.
I love how we were equally down, Winston. Except you were
Yeah.
at 2 hit points and I had half my hit points.
Yeah. That's a good sign for us.
Okay, so you're fully healed then? On
I
the
am
on the
fully
14th?
healed.
Okay.
Let's before we fight the demon, let's loot every single square inch of everything else and just see if we can find 15,000 experience points. Just maybe. Let's go for it.
I
No?
would agree
Okay.
that we.
I'm-
why wouldn't we do that if they
Yeah.
left?
No,
They
I don't want to level up.
We're not coming back. We don't
We're not- yeah.
particularly.
We're not coming
Let's
back.
kill the demon.
We're looking for a hint, right? Maybe to kill the demon. Like, why wouldn't we? While we are there,
We
for
have
this
the
main
books.
everything.
I would be looking through the books. I don't trust that they're smart enough to understand the books that they're reading, honestly.
Okay.
Why don't we, like the night before we're planning on going to fight this demon, we'll do a pipe
Oh yes.
Mhm.
to try and contemplate or plan.
Me likey. what you
Sounds
put
good.
down is.
Mhm.
Lillibeth will even do that.
I think I'd want to do. Yes, sounds good. We could do that.
We'll go player by player. You tell me what you've been up to these past few days while you've been recovering and contemplating going in there. We'll start with Lillibeth. Wanted to check out the Chamber of Records, read some of these books. A lot of this book is not super interesting reading. These are logs of the administration of the Abbey, both before and since everything happened. So it's a lot of, Nathan was emptied the chamber pots today at 9 a.m. Like a lot of this stuff is useless records that was just them keeping their sanity by creating routines and following them to a T and whatnot. There's also theological texts in here, but most of them are of a very dense, very philosophical, not really relating to anything that's going to be useful with St. Clewyd. You also do find, though, a small number of arcane treatises on necromancy and demonology. I think just given that Thomas kind of already alluded to this, if you read through those texts, you'll be able to find some references that would suggest that closing rifts and portals by taking a demon or an entity that was responsible for creating it could reverse the rift. So there seems this book kind of reinforces that idea. How you would do that, complicated affair, but it could work.
That's sort of what Geoffrey was hoping to find it too, was just like confirmation of some of what we're being told, or just something that says we're on the right path, right?
So it
So-
looks like we could pull the demon or push the demon. I would prefer pushing the demon through. Even if the demon includes St. Clewyd. Unless, is there any way to separate the spirit from the demon? It's the spirit. It's been coming to you in your dreams. There's got to be a way.
Let's see. Friar, what have you been up to the past week or so?
Friar's been in prayer. But with the talk of all the dreams and such, I think the friar had been focusing on something that he had remembered a while ago. He is going to try to cash in his favor from the Duke of Dreams, or whoever the name of that guy was. He said that in order to ask for help with something, to wait till you dream and he would know that we needed help. So the friar definitely would probably one of the nights go really hard on the wine, get extremely drunk. And in an epiphany, it came to him that he wanted to try to ask the Duke of Dreams for help to try to find some way, some answer to the problem of getting everyone through this safely and alive while getting this done.
So, a bottle and a half of wine in, you go to sleep in the very uncomfortable accommodations, inherited by the monks. Every night this past week, the dream of St. Clewyd has been every night and more vivid than ever. You could just see his face, this elderly, bearded visage, kind of crying out, calling out to you, help, free me, release me from this hell. And on whatever night it is that you are concentrating on the Duke of Dreams, you see like a couple of hands kind of reach out towards St. Clewyd and almost kind of pull him into the background, and he just kind of like dissolves away almost in like a kind of a vapor, and out from the darkness steps this just rotund, almost like ochre skinned, bald, kind of Buddha looking man who's wearing a very, very colorful robe. He's got a couple of elves, scantily clad elves that are just plucking grapes and kind of popping them in his mouth, and he's catching them, and he's like, "Oh, Stephen, it has been a long, long time. I didn't think that your dreams have been very interesting to me, very busy. What have you gotten yourself into this time?"
Well, seems we are going up against one of the Naglord's henchmen or beings of sorts, and I fear for my companion's safety. We are looking to try to save the soul of one of the revered saints. All the dreams. Wow. I feel pretty sober in here. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Share some of that wine. Is it any good? I've never had holy wine before.
It's fine. It's okay. I've had better. But
Is
either
it
way,
true that it is the blood of your saint that you're trying to save? Ooh, give me some of that juice.
So. I do not think so.
Oh, mortals and your customs. I hear all sorts of fancy, highfalutin things about your rituals, but nonetheless, you want to know how to deal with that thing you've been dreaming of, that horrible old man. That tiny little horrible man. Yes?
Yes. Maybe not horrible, but
Well,
Is it horrible? Is it even him?
it is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. Stephen. He is trying to deceive you, but he is not him. But he is there. Are you following? He is trapped. He needs your help. But do not help him in the way that he appears to be asking you. He wants you to release him. But that's not what he wants. It's what it wants. They want. You're not following. Let me see if I could explain it in a different way.
I am. Yes, please.
They are talking to you. They are one. They cannot act independently. They have fused. But he is still there. He is trying to deceive you. Why not go along with it? Why don't you flip the tables on him? Yes, he wants you to free him. Could be something there, Friar.
They have combined. I understand. Okay. Yes.
You have a key?
Yes. I do have a key.
Are you good at lying? Hmm? You aren't.
Promise.
No, you're not.
Okay, the wine is good. The wine was very good. Yes, it was very good. And I don't. It could have been. It could be his blood. I don't know.
Hand it over. You're really bad at understanding your own religion. Let's drink. Let's you and I have a toast to your good fortune.
I would kind of somehow.
There's like
I don't
there's
know.
a bottle of wine and a couple of glasses in your dream. He'll pour it
I
out.
bring it out.
Blood of the Savior. Yes, it's very good. It's good mouthfeel. Oh, I like the bite at the end of that.
Yes. Good vintage. Sorry. This is a dream after all.
It is a dream, but it is real. Dreams are real.
Now I know you've told me this, but how could we possibly deceive this creature?
Oh, I guess you'll just have to have faith. Is that a thing you say?
Yes.
I wouldn't, but if you wish to turn this nightmare into something worth salvaging, you're just going to have to take a risk. Or you could ignore it and allow your dreams just be what ifs, lingering what ifs, like so many. What is it, Friar? Why? Why would you put it all on the line for this saint? Is it so important to you, or is there some other reason, some personal ambition?
I feel like I don't know if it is ambition, more to the fact that if not me, then who? I've met many men in the church. I've heard of many men in the church. Many people, brave souls. I think it's time that I take a bit of more responsibility in what goes on in my faith.
Responsibility? Whew! Wouldn't dream of it, but it looks good on you, Stephen. Know this. I will remember you fondly. And win or lose, images of everything that you have endured will traipse on the minds of children and adventurers with grandiose hopes of making it big in the Dolmenwood. You will inspire many either way. I fear our time is short. You must wake and go about the drudgery of your life, but you are always welcome in the realm of dreams.
Yes,
Goodbye,
yes.
Stephen.
Oh, goodbye. Oh, and thank you for my brother. Thank you for helping my
Was he
brother out with
happy?
that. I would say so, yes. We need to get back to that. Anyway, goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes. I would say a prayer for you. And I would, as he kind of steps out and
Thomas, what have you been up to this past week?
For starters, I would have taken one of those really fancy clerical vestments and turned it into a cape for myself. I would have assisted with some of the reading. I would be also, just kind of doing some general exploration of some of the area on this side.
Yeah.
And get a lay of, I guess, how this place is set up. Really get to know what's where, know the terrain, more or less.
Sure, I'll just kind of walk you through. Here's the chapel where they would do their every morning they would have a service by Looming Will. Here is let me get my map, Crypts map. This is the Cell of the Silent. So in this cell, this is where they kept any of the avowed who were just skeletons. They can't talk, and they actually were the most peaceful. They don't hunger anymore. Like they don't have like the zombie drive, so they just kind of hang out as kind of docile skeletons in here.
Okay.
Let's see. Over here is the relic store. So this is where they kept the hand, the knapsack, and what was the other thing? The
vestments.
was it the
For food?
vestments?
The cloth
Yeah.
for their food or whatever.
There is a storeroom up here. This is where the zombies, the wayward avowed, were kept. And that's essentially it. These halls down here, statuary down here, but then these doors are sealed. And these would lead
Okay.
out to the eastern crypts where you were before, but those doors do not open.
Okay. And where was the tomb that this creature is in?
Right here.
Right there.
So
Okay.
on the right underneath that overlook, or that balcony, the tomb
Okay.
with the St. Clewyd and the skulls.
And we have I would have asked the priests before they left, how do you unlock those doors? How do you get through here?
You don't. They're sealed.
They are sealed. Okay.
Divinely sealed.
Okay. So you don't come, so they don't go over to the other side.
Yeah, so if you ask them about the catfish and all those other things, like, they've never seen any of that stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And they sealed these because the creature was in here.
Yep. Basically at the point when Looming Will had said, we're all taking this oath, and it is now our duty to stay here and protect it. That's when they seal it off.
Okay.
Topsy, what have you been up to this past week?
You're telling me I had a full week to mess with every single monk in this establishment? I'm gonna go up to every single possible loyalist card at night and say, "Hey, bud, how's it going? Tell me your life story before coming here." And I'm just gonna just talk their ear off, and it's like, "Hey, that's pretty cool now, but you ever had an apple pie? It's pretty sick. You should try it." And then just hand them all like sugary, nonsensical treats because they've been having nothing but bread and alcohol for the past 100 years. So,
You might
Be the
get
stellar
one
guest.
person to bite on that, but almost all of them are pretty conservative when it comes to Fae, and there's just like pies and everything like laying all around after a few days because no one's eating them. But yeah, like they'll talk to you. They're all very reserved, and they're all just very cautious and kind of treat you like keep you at arm's length. Sir Geoffrey, what have you been up to this past week?
You're muted.
Yeah, thank you. I think every morning when Geoffrey writes up, he's writing a letter home, speculating on the possibilities of everything that can happen, apologizing for his righteousness and how he has to do this and how it needs to be done, and then after he writes his letter, and I think he's probably going to be like, get whether the monks, the abbots that are there wish to or not, he's just giving them the letters like, when you leave, make sure these go, get to where they belong. And probably they're like, I don't know what, but he's just like, these are important, they must go. And they're probably annoyed with him, but I think also he would join in kind of searching around and like finding clues, and kind of, he's preoccupied, right? Like I think when Lillibeth shares, the information that she reads about the portal, that gives him hope, but he's also just like clutching at straws and just searching everywhere to see if there's any kind of hint or clue or anything about the demon, and if he finds some treasure along the way, he's not complaining about that either.
Sure. What we'll say is absolutely, as you're writing these letters home, like many of them are going to go back to Brackenwold, so they pledge that they will ensure that the church sees to it that these get to where they need to go. As you're doing that, we'll say that you've been writing a lot of them at a writing desk in Loomingwell's bedroom. And you kind of, as you've been searching around or just looking for clues, you come across a journal of his that has entries from way back 100 years ago, some writings and observations of the battle with that creature. And you would get like a description of what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like it has, coming from its chest, snakes that writhe and are almost like extensions of itself, venomous extensions. Everything that he reads about this thing is being in melee with it. It is a pretty fierce opponent and huge and has the ability to, has strength, so is able to, like, you probably don't want to wrestle with this thing. It's going to likely overpower you. There's some obvious notations about it likely can only be harmed by magic and magical weapons, as they had observed in their confrontation with it. It also has the ability to like vomit out this acidic ooze that just burned right through plate armor and such. So it sounds like it's got a number of ways that it can kill you, and all of them are horrible. So
I suppose at least we have some, and he would share this with his companions and say that, yeah, it sounds terrible, but at least we kind of know what we're up against, right? I don't know if that helps. I don't know what counteracts acid and poison, but we know to avoid it.
And then finally, Silver, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so Silver was pretty beat up during the battle with the abbots and priors and all that. So he has been mostly nursing his wounds and trying to just like, while the monks were here, he was just chatting with them, trying to learn their perspective, and he's kind of fascinated on death that he's discovered in mortals and asking what it's like to die and be raised again. And he has like not necessarily theological interest, but almost just curiosity over like the mechanics of everything that's happening. And so he's been documenting as much as he can about their experiences, what they're willing to share, just in general, like trying to learn as much as he can about it, get it into his story. And of course he's like trying to like exaggerate the experience as he's going through and like working on the artistic expression of their scenario, but mostly just nursing his wound.
Everything that they described to you is pretty horrible because it's not really divine resurrection. It's a painful process, and they're all very weary from it, even though their bodies have been, healed up or kind of reverse age a bit. That doesn't mean that they feel young. They all still feel aged and old, and are really just looking forward to leaving this place and essentially entering into a sort of retirement from this. So with this reverse aging, do your brain and memories reverse as well? Like, do you forget things? Does it become like one long strand? I mean, I'm just curious. There's some of that. We still have our memories, but in the kind of never-ending loop of every day being the same, it is hard to recall life before this place. But those memories are there, and even those of us that have the unfortunate experience of coming back as undead, even there, it would seem that humanity is not completely erased, just lost in the fog.
Just take all the notes down and try to draw this theme of like this like cycle of like mundane life juxtaposed against this like eldritch horror. So, but yeah, mostly just doing that.
And it sounds like there's maybe some discussion that you're going to have about what's going to come next, but then there was the prospect of smoking some pipe leaf. So what does that all look like?
Well, I definitely before that pipe would be smoked, I would share kind of what I've reflected on and what I've learned as the truth, that it is a being that wants to be released. And I would kind of say everything about pretty much what the dream and the information that I've learned.
Do you so what's his name? The Duke of Dreams.
Hey, Chris, real quick, before you go into that, I want to retcon what I told you about the doors. They have keys to them. They are divinely sealed. or they're divinely blessed, but they have mechanical keys that they will give to you in case
Gotcha.
you want to do something
Okay.
with those doors. Sorry.
Okay. The Duke of Dreams suggested, it sounds to me from what you recounted there, was he suggested that you do as the creature asks, that it is St. Clewyd, but he is kind of melded with this demon,
Yes.
that they wish to be released.
Yes.
And he suggested perhaps you do release, but deceive. Yes?
That is true. Yes.
Do you,
He gave no indication on how to deceive, but perhaps something like that. If we're looking at the possibility of closing this rift and saving this abbey, we must get this creature into the other room. Those doors would need to be unlocked, means of egress there. Do you think this creature would attack you immediately, Friar, if you had the key and was willing to communicate with it and release it?
Well, it has communicated with me, so I would assume that it would be willing to speak with me. It has communicated in such way. Does not know that we know that it is neither a demon nor a saint, but both combined.
Do you suppose it wants to go home?
I would suppose it would want to kill, eat, maim, do what a demon does. I don't know that it necessarily wants to go back. But I think it could be tricked. I saw some skeletons just meandering around. We could put some of them in some of the cleric's garb, have them mill around in that other room. You could convince that the creatures or the clerics that were keeping it subdued were in the other room. Lead it that direction. Get it into that larger room.
Why not into the portal? Where the portal?
Well, the portal is in the other room.
Oh, okay. Yes. I have been extremely drunk. I do not.
Yeah, no,
That's true. You personally were not there for that.
But if this creature is strong, right? If this creature is large and strong and deadly, you could mitigate that. I have this, and I pull out that vial. This is not the vial of Wayman, but this is the vial of the fairy dust. That a sprinkle of it allowed us to move that large statue. Do you remember? That if we were to put this dust on this creature and it would float, become weightless. If it's weightless, its strength would be minimized. We could then tether it, push it, rope it, something, and throw it back into the portal.
Also,
That's
yes, and monster battle. Think
And
about it. Saint monster versus multi-head monster. I mean, I'm just saying.
Saint Monster. What do you mean, Saint Monster?
The demon Clewyd monster. And then the multi-headed one that was in the other room. They're not too far away. I'm just pointing it out there.
Oh,
Yeah, what is that other creature? To be totally honest, Chris was thinking they were the same. I was thinking that they were the same thing.
I don't know. You were here that session. There was another monster that we got when we went down into the
like a
crypts
hydra.
of the Hydra monster.
Hydra
Like a
monster.
weird hydra monster with different, almost like a chimera hydra. Mash those two concepts together. That's what you had. Probably not that memorable because you looked at it and said "fuck that" and promptly left.
Yeah.
I'm not saying do it, but it would be pretty cool.
Why did we not ask the other priests about that particular creature?
Because they have never left this area.
Yeah,
that's
they've
true.
never
Don't
seen
know
That's
anything
true.
about it.
Hmm.
But
It's probably just some. If this water is actually like spilling out of this portal, it probably was some other just creature that got corrupted by the water. That would be my
wonder
guess.
what would happen to the demon if we put it in the water.
It probably would grow stronger.
Probably
Yeah.
pretty thirsty in there.
But anyways, that was my general thinking. If we want to try, it seems we got some confirmation, Lillibeth, that it seems like a sound plan, I guess, to attempt to get that creature back through that portal and close it.
Yes.
I don't know.
The how is the hard part.
Exactly. We would have to rely on the friar to lead it out.
This is a basilisk, a pig dog.
A basilisk pig dog?
Yeah, there's the thing.
Oh my
Upside
lord.
down giraffe monkey. Apu would just and Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Yes, Apu. We can use Apu to lower it.
No, we
Wow.
can't use Apu to lure it.
I
No.
second
Let's
this
rely on the
proposition.
monkey.
No.
Hey, Apu,
Well-
I'm just saying, it's 3 for 3 on plans.
That is true. That is
Right.
true.
Perhaps
So-
we could. Apu likes to swim. Perhaps Apu would like to swim in the corrupted water and become some sort of beast himself.
No.
These are all good
Yes.
ideas.
Yes.
Isaac, just for your knowledge,
Yes.
this area is the western tombs or the western crypts.
Okay.
Right here and right here are the sealed doors. They all came here once upon a time. Would not have been able to get past those doors. That's why you had to come in
Okay.
through the abbot's house.
Right.
Over here is where the rift is.
There's the rift. Okay. And just one more time, can you show me the sealed doors of where it would, it's being held?
Where it's being held is right
Yeah.
right up here.
Oh boy. Okay.
We gotta
And
get
where's the
that far.
tomb?
We're just talking right outside
Yeah.
the door. It's all time.
Yes.
You can be talking wherever you have your meeting. Right?
It's like rattling in the chains.
Hey, bitch, we're coming in there. We're gonna lie to you.
Passage.
I hear you, you stupid idiots. What do you?
We're gonna play you like a fool.
I guess the no.
What was that?
Does it matter?
Well, the thing is that we have to funnel it that way. Either way. Yes. We
So
do
maybe
put.
it would come after the gnomon. So if we had the gnomon and we were waving the gnomon and Apu had the gnomon and he was running towards the portal, the Clewyd part of it would want the gnomon. It would. And maybe it would chase Apu to get the gnomon, and Apu would be fast enough to get away. Oh,
but it
Now,
is in there with
Duke of
it.
Dreams- the Duke of Dreams said about tricking him. Like, was he saying to maybe convince him that we are going to release him, but then somehow push him through the portal? And we just have to now figure out how we would make that happen.
could we disguise the portal? Does anybody have enough magic to create an illusion?
I can make bagels. That's about it.
It's like if we get him to stand by the portal and convince him that we're going to free him, so that we're not a threat, right? And then we, at the moment we free the chain, we push him right in. You know what? Before he plants his feet in the ground.
Didn't the pre-prior say he was bolted down in that room?
Mhm.
So there's one lock in the door, and then the key would free him from his chains that are chaining him in that room.
Yeah. On his, it sounds like his arms, his wrists, and his legs.
Like
Those 4 chains.
And where's the portal? It's far away from the guy. We don't know, right? We don't
It's
know.
a ways. No, no, it's it
Yes.
is.
If you're looking at the Foundry map, do you see where your token is, Ryan?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So,
It's all the way over there. Yeah.
yep.
There it is.
And he's chained up, way over where we are.
Yep, over here.
And the chains are not that long, right?
I guess you haven't seen them, but
Prob-
10,
Probably
15
not.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
you
we
could.
know is that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you could convince him that the clerics are in that other room, we could take some of the, like I said, these meandering skeletons, just throw robes on them with hoods and have them mill about. That he might
That he
want to
needs
go
to
in and kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like we come to him and we are like, oh Lord Demon, we have fought
Oh
to
no, we would
to protect
we would
you.
call. It would be that we would have to treat him as Saint Clewyd, and he would have to think that we believed that he was Saint Clewyd.
Okay. And okay. So
And
then what?
It would be up to the friar, because he's already communicated with the friar in his dream.
So yeah, so Lillibeth, you had talked about the Gnomon and trying to distract him and get him into the room with that. Perhaps that, if we treat him as Saint Clewyd and we say, oh, we have we are going to free you, and we have your vestments and your holy relics, and they're right over here in this other room, right next to this portal. I don't know. That seems like a stretch.
We can't bring the portal to him.
That is
I mean-
thinking outside of the box, certainly.
I mean, I'll also just put it out there. I mean, we got magic weapons and silver stuff. We could just, whack them. I mean, the end of it, if the monster's dead, that's good. I mean, sorry, St. Clewyd, Spirit, it's unfortunate, but this is it. It's the hand you dealt. Sorry. Not much we can do. Just putting it out there.
We could cut off the St. Clewyd head. That would free St. Clewyd.
Would it?
Well, we could lie. It would be a horrible lie.
Oh, we bring the
Eat
head
it.
back.
May put
Why?
the head in the
Look.
portal.
What would
We
that?
did it. We saved the head.
And then what? What does that have anything to do with?
You like make its mouth move?
Or
Well,
we
forgive
can
me,
cut
my
off the
tongue.
other head.
It is I, say Clewyd.
They are trying to just. If I understood what you said, they're trying to trick us into releasing them. Our job is to trick them back, but Clewyd at least really wants to be truly released.
Yes.
But the main reason he truly wants to be released, according to your dream, is to spread the word, right?
Or
Through
the
my dream, yes, but the thing is that it is one being now. It is not. There is no St. Clewyd and demon. It is one. It is. Maybe there is some inner turmoil between the two entities still, but I believe they are one.
What do you? Oh,
The only
It
thing
could-
I can think of is maybe one of you rough me up, give me a solid punch. Not you, brother.
Gladly.
Gladly.
Apu can punch you.
I go in and I tell them that I'm very happy to see him, blah, 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 and somehow guide him to help me. They have the final key to release you and whatnot. Get them into that creature into the room, and then we spring our trap. That is all I think we can do. The way to get them there.
It is dangerous, brother, and you are putting yourself at great risk to kind of be alone with this demon.
But
I have faith.
Hey.
But if we were. Okay, so Thomas had the idea about having clerics, right? And people dressed up as clerics.
Yes.
Okay, and you've just won through the faction that wanted to leave, right? They're dead because they're clearly gone. And the faction that's left is worshiping St. Clewyd, and you think that they're St. Clewyd. We think they're St. Clewyd. Then we could all be in there with you by being, I don't know, clerics, pretending to be anyway. And that way we would all be there and might go along with you just to mess with you. I don't know. Because you have the key.
If you are going with me, then that is your choice. I can do this alone and get him to the portal. Either whatever the details are that you think is more important, then that's fine. But I think that is the way it has to work, unless someone has. Of course, you could be clerics too and whatnot, but I think maybe there is a reason why they reached out to me.
Yes, I believe its trust would be in you, not any others.
I agree. And I think if we all find some sort of way to somehow spring a trap on him and push him into the portal before he can lash out at us, because once we engage, it's a good possibility we will die. So if we can trick him and push him through before he tries to poison us or any of this other nasty stuff, that's got to be
Topsy?
it.
trap, you say? Well, I don't know about you, but I have these 19 oil flasks I had just been storing up. Ow.
Ooh, we could slick the floor up. Play slip and slide, demonic slip and slide.
It's not that kind of oil, Geoffrey.
Oh. What kind of oil?
Oh, go ahead.
The
Sorry.
the burning kind.
I think that oil is still slippery there, Topsy.
Oh, oh man. I was thinking we're putting a lot of faith in a whole lot of nothing. So I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
he's trapped. We're here. He's there.
I think didn't they say
They said the fire. Let me ask from the battle records that I saw. Did I see anything about fire being effective or ineffective?
Not in the records. It was just that Sub-Prior Proster had speculated that he would be surprised if it could be harmed by fire, as it came from a fiery hellscape.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Would you like to do your quiet contemplation with your pipes out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
All right. Who wants to do the intelligence check?
Who's got the highest intelligence?
Don't think it's
I think it's been Thomas the whole time.
the whole time.
All right.
Mine's 14.
That's mine too.
All right.
11.
So Thomas, you can roll that d20, subtract 2 from it, and try to get it under your intelligence score.
It's a 9 minus 2, so 7.
Okay. The referee gives the players a clue about the problem being contemplated. I might give you clues. If you engage in combat with this thing, you could possibly defeat it. You will not all be alive at the end of that conflict. So, I'll just put it plainly that is an option to solve the problem, but it comes with more
Great cost.
Great cost. Coaxing it out and bringing it towards the rift could work, as long as the friar can maintain the deception. The more complicated you make your plan, and the more things that you add into the plan, you risk tipping it off. You need a congruent story that you're all on the same page with. Sometimes simple might be better. What is the motivation of the thing to go along with you? Focus on a singular reason, and then, you've got a couple of ideas, I think, for making it easier to get it into the portal. That will be a Herculean effort, but perhaps you have some tools in your toolbox to make that plan work. You have a higher chance of survival through the deception angle. If someone has like a pointed question, I would consider it, and then I'll say the contemplation is over. The fire will not damage it. Holy water will not damage it. I'll just be transparent. The only thing that's going to damage it are magical weapons of a certain bonus, and Fey magic could work on it, but it is a very powerful entity.
Well, not even silver would work.
Well, I'm wondering if, not asking this question, okay? I'm wondering if if by certain bonus it has to be 2 or higher, that would be
That's what I'm
problematic.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking, guys. A Chide sword could do it, because if it's a certain bonus or higher, it's got to be 2 or more, right? One probably won't cut it. Chide sword will cut it, but and clearly Geoffrey would be front lines, right?
I'll answer that
I
question if that's the question you want me to answer.
Is it the question
You know, we got a
want
better.
to
You might have a
answer?
better
Well, I guess-
question.
And
I guess the thing is, there's only like 2 of us who have a plus anything weapon as the thing. I think it's you and Silver. So
Oh, you guys don't
So
have plus weapons?
No.
Mine's a pretty big chopper. If the +1 hits, we have, well, yeah, I think we're going to die if we fight it. But I'm just worried, like, if we don't, like, if we fail the deception, we're going to have to right?
If we
Which
fail
is
this
why it
mission,
has to be
got it. So
something really. Go ahead. Sorry.
well, we plan to fight it no matter what, right? Because even if we push it and we miss or whatever the heck, we're gonna have to fight it, right? So we plan to fight it. I'm gonna plan to do battle with it, to go into battle with it. But I do think that yes, with my brother can he's terrific. He's had these dreams. He knows how to manipulate this guy. He can do it. I believe in him. So I think he can get him into the room. The question's going to be, once we get him into the room, can we force him into the portal? And
Which is
that's going to be the trouble.
so that's why I want to ask the question. And before I ask the question of Alex, I just want to be sure, okay, that you let me, but that would be number one. Number two, before I ask the question, where did the dream of the was there a dream of the gnomon? Was there a specific request for the gnomon?
I think maybe just the church had asked you to reclaim it.
The church, and then I would have told you that St. Clewyd himself was telling me to take it and spread his word.
Okay, so that right there is a pretty powerful motivation.
What's that?
The
You
gnomon,
mean
he doesn't have it.
It's in there with him. It's in the sarcophagus with him.
So he does have it.
Yes.
He doesn't have
Okay,
access
then we're back
to it.
to Apu taking the gnomon. and
Just
running.
realize if it's in a sarcophagus, I don't know that your little monkey's gonna be lifting any sarcophagus lids and getting access to it.
Do we have a potion of hill giant strength? Just like give it to the monkey.
No, you
Could we
gotta
have
use your
something?
flying dust to sprinkle it
Oh,
on
yeah.
the lid.
couldn't we potentially not free him, go in, get the gnomon, set it up in the other area? Now, would he be I'm trying to picture, like, would he be watching us while we're doing all this, or like, yeah, he would.
Yeah, it's all.
wide open.
I'm guessing it's 30 foot by 30 foot or 40 foot by 40 foot room with a sarcophagus in it and this guy chained. That's how I picture what it would look like in
Well,
there.
just because I was looking, right, there's this water passage and all this between where he's chained up and where's it? The sarcophagus is where all these other sarcophagi are, right?
No, we haven't seen it yet. It's in the room with him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, 10-4.
We
Would
collapsed.
everyone be
Go ahead.
would everyone be okay with the question that we ask? I have this Saint Woad appeasement. It's non-violent for 2 rounds. Do you think maybe we might ask if mechanically that would work on this, and how difficult it would be?
Yes.
Would that be okay? Would that be a good question
That's a
to
great
ask?
question.
I think it is
That-
good.
That's a great
That
question.
would be a good question. Yes.
I would pray to Saint Woad while simultaneously getting high off the pipeweed, and see
Yeah.
if that.
The answer, I don't know. Someone will listen to this and be like, "Well, why is he describing it in such a way?" I'm just gonna tell you like exactly what it is. Yes, it could work. However, he gets a +2 to saving throws versus magic.
Okay.
You guys do have 3 player rerolls from
The other
From previous.
Yeah.
from Anonymous.
I will say that if you need to, I will allow you to use the player rerolls that you currently have on my rolls to force me to reroll.
Okay.
Ooh.
So little
So-
boon from the donations from the other week.
So forcing him to kind of become weightless. Well, or I shouldn't say forcing him. Having him sprinkled with the fairy dust, and he begins to kind of float. He can't move. It's more or less levitation.
No friction, right? No friction.
No friction, no whatever. He floats up. If he could be appeased for 2 rounds to not attack, we can basically grab him, run him along, and throw him through.
I fucking love it.
Let's do it.
Brother!
That's such language from the knight.
I finally feel some hope.
Okay. So, is there any preparation that any of you are doing? Were you doing something with the skeletons?
That was just
Right, like we still have to lure him into the room, right? We got to get him in there so we can sprinkle him with the fairy dust and push him, right? So if whatever we can do or whatever story my brother can come up with and agreed, we thought about it while we were smoking the pipe. We'd simpler the better, not overcomplicated to get him in the room. That I think the plan Thomas has is perfect. We just need to focus now on the ruse and what the ruse will be.
Well, I would not lie if it is easier for me not to lie if I would say that they would know the way out. If I can tell them that I've come in here, I was beat up, the entrance was collapsed. That's all true. And I point to them and say they know the way out, then I feel like that would be very simple. And I think that I could truly be able to sell that. Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
the only way in is through where the water comes in. You can say that.
Okay, I like that better. We'll do that one.
All the water, that will lead you the way out.
Yes.
Where is everyone going to be?
I can be wherever you guys need me to be, but invisible. So let me know where to go.
I would prefer that we be kind of like around the corners here and stuff. So if he
Actually in the large crypt.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that Geoffrey would maybe hide in like this sarcophagus, waiting for them to pass by so that we could sprinkle the dust and maybe we'd hide in these sarcophagi here.
Okay. Friar, you're going in alone, right, to St. Clewyd's tomb? Everyone else is in the other chamber? Other than Topsy, you're going to be invisible. Where were you going to stand?
I was asking where would you guys want me? I could be in the other room, but invisible.
Okay.
That's fine too.
Okay.
Actually, I will be in the room just outside where he is, invisible, kind of tailing behind, just in case something goes bad with the friar.
Okay.
Oh, and I'll be right back, Alex.
Sounds good. So my understanding is Topsy is in kind of the gallery there, invisible right around the corner. Everybody else is in the other chamber, taking cover. You're all in the large crypt where you made a bunch of money by taking stuff many sessions ago. And then the friar is going in he's going to be poking 2 fingers into that skull on the secret door, popping it open and hoping for the best.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Okay.
Can I correct where I will be
Sure.
in this circumstance? Assuming I'm small enough, could I hide behind one of the statues instead?
Yeah.
Like say invisible behind like the statue in a corridor where they're probably not going to walk down.
Yeah, it's a tight fit, but you're small. You could wedge yourself back behind one of those statues.
I think the one thing that I would say though is that the only thing is I would need some way to stay alive. What is it that as far as what information would I have to keep me alive? Other than I freed you, come with me.
I know the way out.
Okay.
Yeah, master, I've come to free you. I've completed my mission, and let's get out of here.
Okay, good. I just needed to hear it from you. All right. If you think this will work, I think it'll work. Let us all sit and pray to Saint Woad. Yes, everyone together. And, yep.
Your prayers are said. Everyone gets into their position. And Friar, you put your fingers into that skull. You click the switch that swings open the door. And you see just a hall of darkness.
Saint Clewyd. You there?
You hear the rustling of chains clinking and a large form moving about. Could it be? And you just hear this, like, when it speaks, it sounds like a multitude of voices, like a chorus, both angelic and demonic, kind of right on top of each other speaking. It speaks in liturgic.
Okay.
Could it be you've come to free me?
Yes, yes. There's been many deaths to get to this moment. But I have arrived.
Step in, child.
Yes, yes.
It's just like pitch black in there.
Yeah. I will probably have a torch that I am going to light this. I will need it in order to get you out.
You ignite the torch. It illuminates the path forward, and you can see floor to ceiling, 10 feet tall. This entire tomb is constructed of sandstone blocks. And there are frescoes that kind of ring the walls, all of them very angelic looking figures weeping, and their tears are real, and water kind of protrudes from their eyes and kind of coats the floor with just a bit of water. There are 4 ornate pillars. At the base of them are the iron rings which hold the chains to the floor. And as you look at what they are containing, we'll get the nasty picture up on the screen.
Been waiting so long to see this. It's gonna be so great.
Maybe at the very moment that your torch ignites, a ring of flame comes over the top of this grotesque horror.
Oh my god!
And you can see it shackled, locked chains around its arms and legs. A bearded elderly visage with a yawning gap of a mouth and an eye just right in the center of what would appear to be a very atrophied St. Clewyd. Rotting teeth, hollow eye sockets. The thing has horse legs, snakes writhing out of its chest, and there are tiny intangible demons that just kind of cavort around its feet, which vanish and reform, just like these little impish creatures. You're not even really too sure if they're real. They just kind of come in and out and let out this very high-pitched, shrill laughter. But there is no amusement coming from the multi-headed visage before you. These demonic heads, each one devouring the previous one. It looks at you. The visage of Clewyd himself looks at you. You've come. Please free me. I need to see the light of day. I need to see the Creator's light once more, my child.
Yes. Yes, I will Oh. I will free you and get you out of this place.
You can see, situated right behind him, is the sarcophagus. Lid closed. It has kind of cast within the marble stonework, what would appear to be the interned body of St. Clewyd.
I would start to kind of look and kind of say, you in my dreams, you told me of the Newman. I shall get that as well. Yes.
Of course, it will be your gift. It will be your charge to take it and take it out into the world. But first, the chains, my son.
I will move a bit closer. And the chains are at his feet, you said?
Mm-hmm. Arms and feet.
Okay. I think I'm trying to think how long is a round. And how long?
Around?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, 10 seconds?
No boy, so it would not work right now. So I think I'm gonna have to keep the ruse a little bit longer as I'm trying to do this to get him closer. Yes.
Don't be afraid, my son. This visage you see before you, it is but a curse that I bear. I will be purified when the light of the one true God reaches my blessed flesh. Then I will be released from this abomination.
I trust in you and your teaching, St. Clewyd. You give me strength, yes? And I'm going to go ahead and begin to unchain.
And
I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. Yeah. And I said, I may know a way out, but it is that in the fight and in the way to get here, the entrance I came in has been collapsed, but there might be another way.
Yes. Free me. Lead me.
I will. I'll go ahead and I'll begin to get the one chain.
Yeah, and there's no resistance. His arms are like oversized, so it's not like he's like a hulking, impressive specimen, but he's just like, elongated, large. He's just huge. And as the chains just drop off him, you can see the creature just kind of grabs hold of each of his wrists and kind of massages them a bit. Just relief after all this time. 100 plus years, of containment. Ah, yes. This feels right. Let us go. Let us depart this place as the last chain drops. Lead the way, my child.
Yes. The Newman.
Oh, yeah. Of course, the book. And the creature turns around and just with one hand just whips up. Like the sarcophagus lid just goes flying and shatters against the wall. Take it. And you can see inside the mummified corpse of St. Clewyd, clad in a funeral shroud, and he's clasping in its bony hands this book that has stood all this time, and it is still looks pristine. Very nice leather bound cover. It's got kind of gilded hinges and such that kind of are imprinted along the spine.
I move to grab it. Hold it close to my chest. And give a nod to the creature. Let us get out of here. So you can see the light. This way.
Lead me, son.
I begin. Here we go. I begin to walk.
And as you progress forward, you just hear this thing. It almost sounds, like a giant as it sloshes or kind of sloughs forward. And there's kind of this howl of screams that follows it, but it's joined together by this like angelic harp music. It's like very kind of disorienting, like both
Discorded.
Yeah.
Horrible. Yeah.
And at this point, Topsy, you would see the thing emerge with your own eyes, crown of flame upon its many demonic faces.
I remain motionless
Good call.
for now.
I just continue.
And it follows you. It follows you through past these many statues down this hall. These doors have been unlocked already by Thomas, who managed to get the keys from the previous priests. You are able to open those, which lead into this this area where this kind of cistern is built right into the floor and gives the water its channels to the various wings of the crypt. Where to from here, child? Is it much further?
No, not much at all. St. Clewyd this way.
And the rest of you can hear a very large creature moving in. You can hear the voice of the friar speaking with it in a calm, measured way as they emerge into this hall. Let me just give like the room description one more time so we're all look at the same thing. So this crypt, sandstone blocks, 30-foot high vaulted undercroft, and rows of massive pillars supporting the ceiling and chapel that is on the surface. The sound of rushing water fills the hall, coming from the fountain to the east, and there is a cherub's pool over on the opposite side, just kind of frothing with water that is being deposited into it. And stairs on either side give rise to an alcove on the other side where you can see the chaos rift swirling, purple blackness hovering above the pool. Where is there a way up from here, child?
Yes.
I sense we are close.
We are. Forward a bit more. Mind that horrible. That's horrible. He would say like visage or whatnot.
Mhm.
It is but a trick. As I kind of move forward a bit more, and I kind of stop and I kind of stumble for a second. I'm sorry, but I fear I need one last prayer to get past that horrible. Please, if you don't mind, I will. And I ask you, please, to help me as I pray.
Yes.
And I'm like quickly say, Saint Woad, help me, and that's
You're
it.
gonna cast
And
appeasement. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the prayer. That's
Yep.
it.
You get through it pretty quickly because you can start to see a grin like coming across like each of the cascading heads until it finally gets to like St. Clewyd. This has this horrible grin that goes from cheek to cheek, just bearing all of his rotted teeth. So this is the saving throw. This is the dice roll that will determine a lot here. So I think I said he gets a +2.
And this is the trigger for all of us to act, right?
This is the spell that would, if it works, would render him non-violent.
And we run out, we sprinkle the fairy dust on him, and we guide him to the portal, baby.
That's right.
Okay. I made the save. Would you like to use one of those rerolls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
No, save it. All right. Let me just deduct that there. Here we go. So I rolled a 7. He gets a +2, which is a 9. The number he needed was a 10.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just as he's like raising one of his claws, you can just tell that you enunciate the last little bit of that prayer, and you can just see like it's just like his hand is almost levitated in the air, and a look of frustration on all of the faces. The smiles just fade away as he seems unable. There's not even like a struggle.
He just kind of looks.
Kind of frozen a little bit.
I'm gonna be frozen too. that's what I did. I'm letting everyone else
your
go
part.
ahead.
All right. What happens next?
I'm gonna run out. I'm gonna signal to the crew to run with me. Who is it?
I would just kind of just say, "Oh, my companions, they're here."
Thomas, you have the
Yep.
dust, right?
I
So
have the dust.
We'll signal to you to. I'll run up at him. I'll signal to you to run up at him, and we'll just try to execute the plan, right? Like I'm on one side, you're on one side, and we just guide him into the portal.
Popping the stopper as I run up, and just kind of flick the dust on him, right next to him.
He begins to float, just like that statue in Sir Chide's tomb. I think that's where you got that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So he's floating there, and he's kind of moving about, and like has like a violent stance as you're like throwing the dust on him. Like he kind of tries to block it or whatever, but blocking it only makes it worse. It coats his body. It just kind of gets attached to the slickness, the sliminess of his body. All those little snakes are kind of coughing and kind of recoiling a bit. It starts to float.
Grab
Run
a
up
hold
and
of him.
push.
Yep, start pushing.
Yep.
And as you push and you push, he slides back. Did you ever see? Let me just bring up the image of the actual portal itself.
Yeah, I don't know that we ever saw the actual portal, did we?
It's just a swirling miasma of black and purple and greens, and there are all sorts of weird, fiendish-looking creatures. Some of more of like a traditional devil like visage, and some maybe more eldritch horror, Cthulhu-like things, tentacled beings from the unknown reaching up and out. But as the charge gets thrown back into the portal, you could just see St. Clewyd's eyes get wide, and he's like, no, no, no! And the being itself, all of it, just gets absorbed into the cloud. And you just see, like, in the last moments, as, like, the whole thing is starting to close in on itself, you just see St. Clewyd looks at you, Friar, and says, spread the word! Spread the word! Please, my child, don't let this be my memory! And the whole thing just kind of explodes. There's a wave of force that knocks you all down onto the crypt floor. But the portal is gone. It's imploded upon itself. And so is the Atacorn.
I actively start vomiting because
Yeah, right.
Just horrible.
Yeah, I'd just sit and just kind of, with my knees up or whatever, and my head in my hands, is I can't believe that we did this.
Did we just kill your god?
No, no, we did not. We did not. It's one true God. It's the saints are just stepping stones to the one true God.
Yeah. I got nothing else to say.
Thank you, all of you, for doing this.
Can I just say, like, what the hell? We did awesome. That was amazing. What, have we ever made a plan that just, like, went off without a problem? I don't think we ever have. This is a first. This is amazing. I love this.
I feel like you might be jinxing it. I think we should leave.
Practice. The saint has stayed true to his word, even as he was going to hell. I
That's
can't
fair.
help it.
I don't think he is in hell. I would say the demon's in hell, and his soul is probably going to heaven because he was a nice man.
It's a pretty story. That
I do not
That's
know,
what I'm going with.
but we will. I kind of will shake that kind of book. I'll say we will. We will put forth the memory of who this man was, not what he had become.
So you can restore the app. You can restore this place.
This could be your abbey.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
awfully far from home, brother, I would say.
It seems like it's an awful amount of work.
Well,
I don't know if I want to do that just yet.
Well, you could bring in your all of the different men of the one true God, or women of the one true God, to do that.
I'm
work.
curious. I'm curious about something. I'm going to go wander over to the room and just open it and see what's in there.
Normal.
Oh.
As you
Those balls.
we'll probably start to go and explore all sorts of things in here. The Hydro monster, the Seven Sisters is gone. The skeletons, the zombies in those cells will have turned to dust. Somewhere, sadly, Geoffrey, your messages are laying in a dirt road or something, because all of the clerics will have turned to dust and passed on.
yeah, see, I had a feeling when they left, I was going to warn them about that. I had a feeling when they left, I was like, man, you guys are dead 100 times over. How are you going to live out there?
I'm sure that it's a relief to finally be free of the cycle. So yeah, like all of the unnatural phenomenon around here ceases. All of it was a result of the rift. Except for the fact that no one could reach this point, which was a question earlier. Why was it that you were all able to get here? And ever since leaving Castle Zintlin, I think there had been a lot of talk of the Crookhorns and the Nag Lord being very active in the north. There's a ley line that runs through here that caused all of that phenomenon, and the Nag Lord has been very busy ramping up and drawing from that ley line that caused the shroud to cease.
Ah.
But that thing that you just defeated was a part of him, a part of the Nag Lord. So this is a significant blow that you have just dealt. And so there was about to be a situation where Prigwort would no longer be under the Fey protection of the Yellow Prince. Fortunately, some of that activity from the Nag Lord is going to start to cease, and over time that relationship will be able to be repaired, and the elves will still brave coming in to the Dolmenwood and having relationships and camaraderie with the people on this side. As for St. Clewyd, Friar, I think you will, on occasion, still have a dream, or rather a nightmare, of him, as he is now bound still within that creature in the hells. But this is kind of what saints do sometimes, the sacrifice for keeping the world safe from such things. And so there isn't necessarily animosity, but there is like a connection between you and he through this creature. And sometimes in the torment of all of that, you can commune with him, something that Looming Will would have been very envious of, you being able to talk to the living saint. And so there's a lot of opportunity for you to build out what that story looks like and how the Friar might use that. But there's probably all sorts of loose ends that we could tie up here and touch on. I'm happy to answer any questions, or we could co-create what the resolution to various things is, but I think maybe we'll just go around and you can kind of tell me what happens with your character going forward as we leave the grounds of the Abbey, and you do whatever you will with this freedom that you've been granted by being here in the Dolmenwood. I don't know. Rather than I choose, who feels ready to maybe begin doing an epilogue?
I'll jump in. So, obviously Silver will immediately be inspired by this friar facing down this eldritch horror being and using his faith in the one true God to reverse his perversion, even though he's not a believer himself. It's too poetic. And so all of that goes into the story. The friar becomes a central character, of course. And so he'll finish the ruined Abbey, St. Clewyd. Probably take a couple weeks, just hold up in Prigwort in like the tavern, just concentrated in the writing. And at that point, I think with 2 epic poems pinned, I think Silver is ready to go back to Ferry. And so he will catch the next ferry road he could find back. And the way that he's lived his life, he's lived 6 or 7 different kind of like careers, so to speak. And I think the next one, inspired by Thomas, he'll become a storyteller. And so he'll go around and recite these stories that his friends, and just share that around the ferry, especially as the Nag Lord's influence seems to be waning a bit. It's a good time to maybe bring some hope and cheer back to the various elves in the world. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll go ahead and throw in here. I kind of touched on stuff before, but Thomas, after this, kind of has like the epic story of all of his epic stories. he feels pretty satisfied. He moves on and buys into one of the places in Prigwort. He does see that to its fruition. Regaling tales, a few nights a week, songs, merriment, serves, just basically your typical restaurant owner that walks around and glad hands people and everything. However, with what occurred here, something that he was not necessarily planning on is, and I don't know if there's a saint of, drinking and merriment or anything like that or whatever, but he kind of has, through this, seen more of the actual power of the one true God and everything. So in this tavern, one of the things that he does, he would put a small shrine to a saint of whatever is kind of a something for him to pray to, and he sticks around Prigwort. He does find a lady, marries, but he sticks around Prigwort with this information to be kind of at the ready as well. If the Nag Lord's influence starts gaining momentum, he's here as a bulwark against that, as well as doing some occasional traveling, mapping out the dolmen stones.
Yeah. I would say if you, at some point, just for funsies, want to detail out what your tavern is called, what it looks like, some details about it. I don't know. I still don't have my Dolmenwood. I'm finishing a Dolmenwood campaign. I still don't have my books, but I plan on playing Dolmenwood again someday, and I would love to build in the lore of everything that happened here, and kind of have my own, just for my own satisfaction, my own living campaign. Someday the kids might play it, so it'd be very cool.
Sure.
If you wanted to do that. I would include it in my future games. So
Gladly.
Who would like to go next?
Yeah, I think Geoffrey was deeply affected by this whole thing, having made friends, lost friends, almost lost his brother, sent this demon back to hell without having to draw his sword. And I think that is the biggest thing that is going to carry into Geoffrey's future. Geoffrey's stat block, he, along with Thomas, he's one of the smartest guys here, but you would never know it. And I think that Geoffrey now, having seen how a well put together plan can work, is going to devote himself to planning instead of immediately breaking down doors and fighting. And so that is going to sort of be his legacy, as he heads back home to start a family, and to bequeath his brother some land so that he can kind of help him build this abbey, And I think on that note, and with him planning that, his intention is to start an order of the knighthood that is devoted to protecting the brothers and the friars, and not necessarily the high clergy, because he's also seen through his brother the importance of that the one true God works closer to the ground than is necessarily believed by the church. And so he thinks that those brothers and those people who are closer to the ground and traveling need that protection. And so it's his intention to start an order of knights that is devoted to protecting friars.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, your wife will be happy to see you as you return. I think Madame Shantywood was probably getting pretty close to making a arrangement between Hogwash and her father, but I guess at what point do you make that public? Do you make it public?
I think that Geoffrey wants to make it public as soon as possible because he wants babies.
Yeah.
So, I think when he gets home, he's just going to be like, lift her up off the ground and be like, I cannot keep it a secret any longer. I love you.
Yeah. You want kids?
And I think you will be begrudgingly accepted into the family. It wasn't exactly what her father wanted, but you've got some clout with the church. You've got some clout now with some important people, and so you have some value. It's not exactly what he wanted, but you just always have like that strange relationship with your father-in-law where you're not exactly what he wanted, but he gets along with you for his daughter's sake. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll return to all that someday and see what happens over in Breggle country with you and your estate. All right, who would like to go next?
I'll go. Everyone knows Topsy at this point. Pretty splendid cat, one for the ages. She needs a siesta for a bit. She's gonna go back to the land of I think it's Catland is the official term for
Catland.
where the Catland where the Grimalkin come from. Go. She's gonna reunite with some of her kids. Some went missing a while ago in their trips into Dolmenwood. That was kind of weird at some point. But like, listen, there's these guys out there, absolute nut jobs. I tell you, they're the craziest bunch of people I've ever met. Did you know they did this sort of thing? It's crazy. And then probably after like regaling the litter of the tales, they like, boy, being here sucks. I'm gonna go back. Anyone else want to come along? There's all sorts of adventures and crazy things you could have over here. You could slay demons or, get a couple of coins. Oh, and did I tell you about the mortal pastries? All the mortal pastries, they're amazing. So I'm gonna try to lead a Grimalkin tourist attraction to the Dolmenwood.
That's good. Yeah, on occasion we should have Topsy and Grimalkin show up on a wandering monster table or wandering encounter table. Who would like to go next?
I'll go. The Friar would first off, I think before he would head back to the church to kind of bring back some of those artifacts, it would be very important to him that he would visit the poor areas of cities and feed as many as he could with what he had. He'd try his best to heal as many people along the way. He would return to the church with intentions of starting an abbey on his brother's estate. He would tell the story of what happened, stressing the importance of having Silver and Topsy in the story. In fact, he would, and he had. I'm sure that the other abbot, I know he had mentioned about it, but he would stress that this is what is necessary and what is important. He would then return to his brother. He would, depending on whether or not he would be able to keep any of those artifacts, I'm not sure, but he would definitely go back, ask to have some of those seeds, and start planting them around the abbey.
Well, there is a factor here that I think we're not thinking about, and that is that Abbot Nedwin Hargle had sent with you a number of acolytes, and they witnessed everything.
Yes.
So regardless of what you personally wish, there is a movement back at the church to name you the next living saint. You have the previous Living Saints book, they saw everything that happened. And so I don't know if this is something that Friar Fitzpatrick owns and embraces, but however he feels about it, you have cemented your position as a candidate for sainthood. So I think that the book for sure stays with you because there's probably a lot of like internal political conflict about that. Like there's, as we know, there are bad agents within. Yeah, Hargle was one of the good ones. So
Yes.
he is going to probably be fielding that a bit, but there is this conversation that is happening at the heart of the church about your status and things like that. The knapsack with the seeds you absolutely would keep. I think the church would probably step in and intervene on some of those other pieces. They would send some people out to kindly take them from you, but some of them it's the will of the people that you have it.
Yep, he would do that and do the Abbey as best he could. He'd probably leave and go off on. He might not even be at the Abbey as much as he would like, because he'd probably go off and start looking for fungus and mushrooms and stuff.
Yeah, of course. Geoffrey's got a big
Jesus
property.
Part
There's some
2.
fun stuff out there to grab.
I guess that leaves Lillibeth. And Lillibeth is going to definitely be torn, but not too heavily torn. It makes sense for her to stay in and around the area of Lake Longmere. So from there, she can attempt to go into the Valley of Wise Beasts and learn more about that. She knows that she is a horrible hunter in terms of actually and in terms of actually killing prey, but she's learned that she has an affinity for the life that the Droon seem to lead, which she can't join. She has a desire to learn more about the Dolmenwood itself. And more than that, she wants to see what's going to actually happen as Polith does whatever she's doing with the monster in the lake. And so from there, she's going to go ahead and establish herself as a scribe again and go back to her old profession. And she will keep her mask firmly in place. She'll keep her horns out of view unless they actually help her have conversations with the Breggle, who might talk to her to find out what the heck happened. And when the opportunity arises, she would be happy to go with the friar if he would be happy to go with her, so that he is protected differently than by a gaggle of knights as he's going out looking for his mushrooms and doing his mushroom collection. And probably make a deal with Topsy to take his brood of Grimalkin tourists rat hunting in some of the best places in the city. And so in this way, she can keep both the connection that she's built with the people that she's built those connections with and still live the life of solitude that she's really always wanted. So that's what she'll do.
I will just, your characters wouldn't know this, but player curiosity, what happened with Polith was that the witches wanted to awaken a wood god in order to confront the Nag Lord. Polith is still alive. She's in the belly of the manifestation of that wood god, which is Big Chook.
Big Chook.
Yep.
Great name.
Awesome. Well, it has been a pretty crazy run this whole game. This was my first attempt at doing hex crawling, and I think it taught me a lot about how to do one, and I think there is no better source material that you could use for that than Dolmenwood. I want to thank you all for we can do a round of gratitude and everything as a wrap up, I guess, but I just want to thank you all for leaning into it, doing all of this, because this has been by far the most fun and most rewarding campaign that I've ever run, and I don't know, it just like lays the groundwork for plenty of, like, I'll probably be playing Dolmenwood for the next 10 years, and this is all like kind of like the core foundation of what those further adventures. If you look at the map and like how much we explored, like teeny tiny little bit of it, there's decades of gaming that could be had in this world, and then you throw in all the supplemental stuff that they're going to be coming out with. Yeah, so thank you all for just embracing this story, creating such amazing characters, and even doing like the whole podcast side of things, because I'll tell you, it's really fun for me to be able to go and like talk to somebody who's like, hey, they reference things that happened in our game. Like, they aren't just saying like, oh, that's cool that you do that. Like, you could tell like there were people that actually watched it and derived some entertainment value out of it. And maybe it's only, a couple of people, but that's a really cool thing that you played a D&D game or a tabletop game and people wanted to listen to it. I don't know, that's pretty cool.
That's rad.
It's
Yeah, I gotta throw a gratitude out to every single person at this fucking table, man. Like, y'all, I was telling Alex when he sent a message to me earlier today, like, I consider you all like my close and cherished friends. Like, I love you guys. I'm gonna miss you guys. This was such a great and fun experience. You're all such great people, and I'm just so grateful to be like around you guys. So thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being a friend. you guys I love you. I mean it. For real.
Right back at you.
Indeed.
yeah.
Yeah. I know it's probably the cop-out answer, but same thing here. This has been, I played a lot of great campaigns, and I love role playing with like great players, but there's something special with the Dolmenwood campaign. It's just it's been a blast, and it's fun to play in this world, fun to play with these players, and everyone taking this like the right level of seriousness, able to have fun, but still like really sell out to their character and their motivation. And obviously Alex is like the dream DM or GM for any kind of campaign, but especially this type where are kind of looser and able to like run around, hex crawl and stuff. I know it's your first time doing it, Alex, but it's like so suited to your style. It's been great, and just really enjoyed playing everybody, and it's fun. Take a lot of reckless actions and dying and turning into dust and then coming back as an elf, like doing that whole thing. It's actually, I think, the first time I've ever played an elf in a tabletop role-playing game. I think it's the only time. So it's been really cool, and just everything about it's great. And I know that Alex referenced it already, but like, I did get my little set, and I could finally read all about the skulls and the horrible things in here, and this weird. There's the catfish guy, but yeah, just found him. Anyway, so it's just been great, and so yeah, shout out to everybody. I mean, everyone has been fantastic.
Yeah, I'll jump on the heels of that and throw my gratitude to Alex, especially for actually putting this together and doing this. It's been an absolute ball. Dolmenwood has been a gem for me. It's definitely, I don't want to say this, it might not be something that I would have like randomly chosen. but being in it, it's fantastic. So I do want to thank you for introducing me to it and getting me involved in it, because it has been a ball, and gratitude to everybody on this side of the table. Because as Ryan said, I mean, I love you guys, and it's just been fantastic and a very enjoyable, fun experience, like always. But this one kind of had its own specialness to it. So
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I mean it's gonna be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Everybody. But really,
final episode.
it was very nice to be to sit down for a game and immediately be engaged with the story, being able to know your own character well enough to where it's a blast. You know, you get lost in your character, you get lost in others' characters, and you could see it. Like you could tell that everyone knew their character very well, and not only that, but I mean, it's always a pleasure to play with all of you. And like you said, yeah, we're all friends. Like it's good. It was a great time, and every time I had Dolmenwood, I was very excited to play.
He was so excited he got up at what time was it when we were on Saturday mornings?
Oh,
I
that's
know.
right.
I
Yeah.
can't believe it.
It's like
Oh my
6 or
God.
7 a.m.
I think that's why my voice ended up being that way, because I was just so tired, and I just be quiet for like the first half of the game because I wouldn't be able to come up with a sentence correctly. It was just, but either way, like it was a pleasure playing with you all, and I'm sad to see the game go, but I'm looking forward to maybe at least hearing about the other stories that come out of this world, because it is near and dear to me, and love you all. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, so I've played games with a number of people who are on this, and obviously I started off playing a game with Alex in which I learned for firsthand just how devious it can be as a player, and then to have him be the GM of a game was another learning experience. So I feel like I have opened up a whole new creative aspect of myself just by being involved in this, and that being able to bring that to a group of people and play around with it, and especially in this world, it seems like this world in particular, sorry, Wizards of the Coast, more so than D&D, honestly, more so. It just gives a lot of scope for character development and nuance, and it's hard. So it was hard for us to, I mean, look at where we are right now. This was hard, and we all played our characters so well that it felt like every time I was coming back to this, I was really coming back to the story itself. And Lillibeth evolved all by herself in exactly the way that she unfolded through all of the experiences that she had based on her original character profile. And that just doesn't happen. So I feel like without having all of us together in this and playing off each other the way that we did, that I don't know. It's a friendship and a family. And Lillibeth is like crying inside because it's just sort of like she's going away from this for a little while, necessary. But for me, it's the same thing. And I don't know. I am really going to miss you guys. I know I will see you all again because we're friends, but I'm really going to miss this game a lot. So thank you for this gift, all of you.
Thank
I know,
you.
you know what? Thank you. I don't know if you know about this one, but I'm gonna take my gratitude out to everybody.
Oh.
It's pretty. I guess I know it's easy cop. I'm sorry. It's gonna
It's
happen.
okay. You're allowed.
Oh,
Bold of
oh,
you.
thank you.
Bold of you.
Coming into it, I mean, I came in as, I think everyone remembers, as just a listener. It was like something I would listen to during my work day, like when I'm driving the truck. And I was like, man, I'm actually really enjoying this. And then when I was approached the opportunity to get in and be able to play, I was like, I absolutely would love this idea. And what's the most chaotic thing I can do? And then that's how I got in. But then it turned into a lovely experience where it's both serious, engaging role play and us staying with it the whole time, and also just nice, almost like a table game, is like sitting around friends, just hanging out, like on a couple of couches and telling like a cooperative story. Like I remember, like when we did the morning games, one thing I like to do was just get a cup of apple cider and just sip on that in the morning, or have some tea and be like, let's just hang out for a bit. It's pretty nice. And while I am sad to see it go, I will say there wasn't a moment I didn't regret coming to join in and play the game.
Well, thank you all. I just want to, we'll see if I can say this correctly. There's one thing that I wanted to point out because I didn't say it yet. And I've had like a couple glasses of wine, so we'll see if we can put this together. So I wasn't sure if this was going to be the right ending for this campaign. Like, we were using a module, and we built up the story around it for a while. But as we started getting into it, and you guys started planning for there's a little bit there that I thought they might just walk away, and that would be fair and valid, right? Like, you could have done that. That could have been the end of your story, but you didn't. And there was a little bit there where it was like, is this going to be a combat thing? Have they learned nothing about the OSR? Have they learned nothing? Are they really going to do this? But then, I don't know. You used all the mechanics. You used the pipe leaf. You enact Issac bringing in the dreams. What's his name?
Duke of Dreams.
The Duke of Dreams. From way long ago, like years ago, that was a thing. There's just all these little bits and pieces that you came together. I started to realize we have to come up with a plan, and you executed the plan perfectly. There was one die roll that had to happen to make the plan work, but that is kind of how these games are supposed to be played. Like, you don't want the dice to decide your fate. You want to do as much as you can to set it up so that you're doing clever play to get to the conclusion. I had the same experience with my previous OSE group. I had a number of people play The Nightmare Over Reagan Hollow. The same thing happened. The conclusion, they figured it out. Here's our plan. We're going to execute this plan and see if that's the solution. They did it, and they all commented on that session. Not a single die was rolled, and we succeeded. So I think that was really cool to see happen, because it's kind of this is the final session. They did a thing that didn't revolve around drawing swords or drawing blades, and I don't know. I just want to thank you for making that all happen. That was very cool. I just tried to stay as silent as I could, give you a little bit of detail, but that whole planning process was very fun and enjoyable for my seat to watch happen. So. Okay. So I guess that is it. We are only 50 minutes over when we said we would be done. So we will close it out and let people who need to go get some sleep before work do so. Thank you all for watching, for listening, for all the support over the years of us doing this game. Who knows? Maybe we'll come back to the Dolmenwood again someday, or put something together again for you all to listen to. But for now, we're going to say good night, and we will see you all next time. Come to GaryCon. Maybe we could have a GaryCon reunion of Dolmenwood players. It sounds like that might be happening. So,
that would be great.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you all. Good night.
Thanks,
Night.
chat and listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.